go live in full competition here at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's set the stage. Let's go down trackside to Drake York.
Thank you so much, Brian. Well, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway we know is the world's greatest race course and has so many great traditions. You think of the Indianapolis 500-mile race has been around for almost 110 years. The Brickyard 400, which is racing here later this weekend, has been around for decades. So many other things, too. The Singing It Back Home Again in Indiana, Kissing the Bricks, Drinking the Milk, all things that make the Indianapolis Motor Speedway special. In the last couple of years, we've had race cars on the dirt track here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway with the BC39 the last few years. That has turned into a tradition. There's so many things around that race too that have become tradition themselves. You think of the prelude of the BC39 we do downtown, Doug Bull's running around the racetrack and giving drivers fist bumps before they go to green for 39 laps. So with that being said, with this facility as old as it is, not every day you get to start a new tradition, but we get to do that here tonight with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship. As you said, live and in anger for the first time in full competition, they'll take to the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, it is worth mentioning tonight is not a points race for the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship in the sense of feature points and everything else being paid out, just show up points, and this has no barring on NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. So it's really all about the big money and the big prestige here tonight at the world's greatest race course. But with that being said, let's take a look at your season-long AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship points headed in to Indiana Sprint Week. Kyle Cummins continues to lead the way with 1,624 points. Justin Grant sits in second, 87 points behind. But if you remember back to the Sprintacular, Kyle Cummins had a rough go on the second night. Justin Grant was able to close in by 23. Mitchell Moles currently still in that third spot. Logan Seavey bumps his way up to fourth, while Briggs Daner falls to fifth, rounding out your top five. Robert Ballou in sixth. Kevin Thomas Jr. moves up to seventh after a strong weekend down at Honest Abe Roofing Lincoln Park Speedway. Jake Swanson back to eighth. CJ Leary ninth, and Cale Drake currently rounding out your top 10 in the season-long points. Over to our dirt track driver matchup for night number one here of Indiana Sprint Week. And reminder, whoever wins this matchup will play again tomorrow at Lincoln Park Speedway. Tonight's matchup shows off Chase Stockin and Kobe Simpson. We'll start off with Chase Stockin. He is on the left-hand side of your screen at USAC Driver 1. That's where you can find him in the post-race lobby. He has selected Kyle Cummins, himself, Carson Short, Hayden Reinbold, and Brady Short. And as I said, Kobe Simpson, his opposition, in the post-race public lobby tonight. You can find him at USAC Driver 2. He has chosen Logan Seavey, CJ Leary, Cale Drake, Hayden Reinbold, and Todd Hobson. Remember, you can play against the USAC drivers when you enter in that public lobby on Dirt Draft. Let's take a look at run a show tonight for the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship. Engine heat just finishing up in the pit area a while ago. No dirt draft hot laps tonight. The first time the cars will be on the racetrack tonight is their group qualifying sessions, and they're qualifying against their heat races. With that being said as well, 5 heat races on the evening. Top 3 advance straight into the feature event. We'll go to our C main from there. Top 4 advance into the back of the B main, and then it's the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Karts semi-feature. Top 5 advancing, and they will all start at the very back of tonight's feature event. 35 laps the distance for the first go with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship here at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll get kind of into more of the nuts and bolts of the program of how we're lining things up as the evening goes on. Uncertainty, that has been a big word here leading up to night number one of Indiana Sprint Week. As I said, for the first time, the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship in anger here with the full field. As I said, 37 cars in the pit area tonight. But obviously, we've only had really one race here. Of course, that was the Stoops Pursuit last year, kind of an all-star race, if you will. It's 10 cars that were invited to come demonstrate here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that has now turned into the night one of Indiana Sprint Week. And I've talked with a lot of teams in the pit area today about kind of their baseline. What are some tracks that maybe remind them of the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that they at least could start on, whether that comes up to setup, gearing, so on and so forth. A lot of people have compared to this to the Circle City Raceway located in Indianapolis, Indiana, of course, where we'll be later on here during this NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. A couple other tracks I heard thrown out there. Action Track USA makes sense. The other really tight bouldering we go to on the current 2025 schedule for the USAC National Sprint Car Championship. An interesting one I did hear earlier is the Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex. If you remember back to a few years ago, the Power Eye War Series actually competed down at Sweet Springs with the sprint cars, and 2 drivers that have ran there in sprint cars here tonight. That, of course, Wesley Smith and Braden Cromwell, and both of them had really good runs, too. So the ideas are kind of all over the place, too. I heard more people lean towards Circle City, especially to the drivers and teams that have raced in the state of Indiana a lot. We're going to have to wait and see how things shape out here. So excited to be here at the world's greatest race course, my favorite place on earth, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for night one of what is sure to be a very exciting Indiana Sprint Week.
Thank you very much, Drake. 37 drivers on hand here tonight, and not an all-open field. It was by invitation, going off of this year's points, past points from 2024, Sprint Week points, Sprint Week winners, and there was actually over 60 drivers that were eligible to be a part of this event. There were 40 that actually made the cut and were accepted, and 37 of those drivers able to make the call here tonight, Dr. Sullivan.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing important, however, when you give show-up points, it is a national win.
Yes.
Make that very clear. I mean, while in some sense it's not normal points paying, it is, in fact, going to go down the record book, and that's important. Interesting comment today. I'm looking right down the infield. I'm seeing a guy who was an Indiana Sprint Week champion twice, Ventura, California's Corey Cruzman. He came into the USAC trailer and said, "This is how I remember Indiana Sprint Week." And of course he meant it's hot.
Yeah, it is a little bit warm, but we got a little bit of cloud cover rolling by intermittently here. It should cool down just a little bit this evening. Of course, look forward to seeing everybody for the remainder of our NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. Tomorrow, of course, we head down to downtown Putnamville, Indiana, and Honest Abe Roofing Lincoln Park Speedway. If you were on the bus, we welcome you, and of course they will be able to take you back, and that's a pretty good deal, and your ticket to Friday night's action included in all of that.
Yeah, lots of things going on there, a fresh fry, a lot of things that Jen Estes has done to make that sort of a special event. That is a nice camping area up there. A lot of people don't realize that. They just go right in the main gate. You sort of go over a little bit further, and there's a nice area to camp there.
Yeah, you go up top, and there's a whole area up there. And, of course, if you haven't done so, make sure and swing by. You've got Souvenir and Vendor Row on the outside of turns at 3 and 4, and there is all kinds of great stuff to choose from down there. Of course, you got the USAC merchandise trailer. Those brand new Indiana Sprint Week t-shirts are in stock and waiting for you. Make sure and head down there. We've got leftover Indiana Midweek, Eastern Storm, a couple other things. Of course, all the 2025 race day must-have gear. You can also get apparel and merchandise from Team Ez, Justin Grant, Brady Bacon, Kevin Thomas Jr., Jake Swanson, CJ Leary, Logan Seavey, Mitchell Moles, Kyle Cummins, Robert Ballou, Cale Drake, and Briggs Danner. They are all down there. And, of course, later on this week, we'll have KO Motorsports. They will be jumping on. They'll be out for the rest of the week selling merchandise. And also, once we get done with heat races, it looks like Jake Swanson, CJ Leary, and Kevin Thomas Jr., they're going to go up there and sign autographs. At least that is the plan. So make sure and get down there and pick up your T-shirt while your size, color, and design is still available.
I'm actually being entertained by Rizzy, who's been applauding the water truck. He's been going back and forth with the four-wheeler. I said to you, Rizzy's ready. What did you say?
He was ready when he woke up.
He was ready when he woke up. He's a bundle of energy.
That is a man who does not need caffeine.
No, he does not.
There's a disorder. It's autobrewing disease where you actually, kind of
right.
Naturally your body just ferments. I'm pretty sure he creates his own caffeine. I'm jealous.
He's doing a great job.
So cars making their way out here for what will be the combined Dirt Draft Hot Laps as well as Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. So you still have time to set your Dirt Draft lineup, and of course use code USAC when signing up to get a $20 digital gift card to shop at usacgear.com. 4 laps is what these drivers are going to get here on the track to establish their best time. And again, as Drake mentioned, it's not the overall that you're qualifying against. You are qualifying against your heat race.
Yeah, it's exactly what we use a lot in bull rings in Indiana. It's very efficient. And again, that is the key point. We can't hammer it enough, is that you're just competing against the drivers in your group here. Boy, I'm looking out here, and I see Jerry Coons Jr., and I think I see Charles Davis Jr. I think I see some experience out there.
There's a lot of experience out there. You got Robert Ballou on the racetrack as well. You've got Stockin here in the 92. You got a brand new ride for Braden Cromwell of Lone Jack, Missouri. The wholesale battery, Level Up KC, Interstate Electrical Supply, Show Me Synthetics number 4X. He sits here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, came through the Jay Husker ranks where he was a 3-time champion.
Chase Stockin, mentioned him at a Fort Branch, Indiana. The Brown Brothers Excavating, Daywig Meats, Lucas Oil Center, Moose Racing number 92.
Isn't it great to have the Mooses here in Indiana? They moved out here. They've been really supportive of a lot of race aid activities. We are delighted to have them in our fold.
They've had a really solid year. Of course, not able to run the entire schedule, but every time they're at the track, they are in contention. And, of course, Jerry Coons Jr. back behind the wheel, the driver out of Tucson, Arizona, driver of the Curb Records, Mechanical Advantage, Dueling Companies, Coletta Charters, number 63.
It's been a while since he's been in a sprint car. He's been in a midget, but of course he's a member of the Triple Crown Club.
Brady Bacon at a Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, driver of the Concord American Flagpole, Macri Concrete, Jim Weed, Hebner Enterprises, High Performance Lubricants number 20. He fires off into turns 1 and 2. Mention the Madman, Robert Ballou at Rockland, California. The Suburban Subaru, Dean Twilight Front Services, Factory Cane, Amy Gardner Roofing, number 12. He rolls over to the first and second turns. And a brand new look and a brand new paint job for Charles Davis Jr. to Buckeye, Arizona. The MP Environmental Indy Race Parts, Chuck Dieswieners, FK Indy Central Arizona Speedway, number 47.
And here's what we can say about Charles Davis Jr., former racer of the CRA, Rookie of the Year. Charles Davis Jr. might finish last, he might win, but Charles Davis Jr. is going to have a good time.
And he's going to have cold Coors Light when it's all said and done.
He'll be ready to go.
Probably had a nice cold NOS before he got in the car.
Oh, he's ready to go. Yep.
Of course, make sure and stop by the NOS Energy Sampling Station. Grab yourself a complimentary can of NOS and follow them on social media at NOS Energy.
You know, Brady Bacon knocking on the door of Dave Darland to be the all-time leader in USAC National Sprint Car wins. He also knows that Justin Grant is lurking. So that's a little bit of a battle we've got going on right now. We don't see Brady all the time, but this is a place where he won the inaugural BC 39, so he knows how to win here.
AMSOIL is the title sponsor of the USAC Sprint Car National Championship. The AMSOIL Ultimate Oil Change makes changing your own oil a breeze. Their shop by vehicle tool at AMSOIL.com takes the guesswork at picking the best oil and filter combination for your vehicle. Pick the right product and packaging option from a complete list of product recommendations and get everything you need to get the job done shipped right to your door with fast free delivery. Visit AMSOIL.com to learn more and to see how you can get the protection you demand and the performance you deserve.
You know, I saw Chase Stocken's grandfather race quite often, actually. His grandfather, Sam, was involved in racing, started a steel block series that ultimately Chase won. But interestingly enough, I saw him in a lot of wins in a stock car at Lincoln Park Speedway, and I asked, now that is because guess why? It's recorded as Stockton, which always happens to him.
One of the first times I remember doing Chili Bowl entries, I had made that mistake.
It's simple.
Because there is a driver in New York.
Right. That's just a common way to do it.
Yeah,
it's like my longtime announcing partner was Brad Dickinson, not Dickinson. Dickinson. Same thing happened.
Throughout the 2025 season, you can be part of the action with a chance to win with Play USAC, offering you the fans ways to put money in your favorite drivers with top sports books and daily fantasy providers offering odds and exclusive sign-up offers for USAC racing fans. There's never been a better time to give it a try. Go to nxtbets.com/playusac for more information. Void where prohibited, must be 21 years or older to participate. Please play responsibly and fight back against addiction at 1-800-GAMBLER. A reminder, the odds that have been posted by nxtbets.com are provided by nxtbets.com to the United States Auto Club. They put Kyle Cummins at the top of the list at 145, Justin Grant at a 216, Brady Bacon at a 368. A little bit further down, CJ Leary, who won the exhibition race here that really gave rise to this event, sitting at a plus 2,400. Of course, CJ picking up his first USAC win of the season last night at the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And Chase Stocken at a 44.25. So just remember, when our drivers win, you win when you play along at nxtbets.com/playusac.
Well, the first time we went to Action Track USA with the traditional sprint cars, Kyle Cummins looked at it and said, this looks like a little bit like Hobstadt to me. And the collective groan was the pit area at Action Track USA. So we knew he'd do well there. I must confess, when I think of Justin Grant, I think of big tracks, him banging the fence, banging the walls. But he came up with a victory at Action Track USA this year.
Yeah, and he's won on a variety of ovals this season. Of course, he hasn't won just in sprint cars. He's won in Silver Crown, he's won in midgets. He has now set the record for the driver winning in all three, the fastest in a single season.
Yeah, he did. That was very, very quick.
And beat Dave Steele by 24 hours.
Yeah, I thought it was Dave Steele who had done it. I remember when he did that. But so the fact that you saw those ads as they were laid out actually makes a lot of sense based on what we've watched over the last couple of years.
Racing Electronics is the official race communication provider of the United States Auto Club. They have been in business with over 30 years of experience and serves every major form of auto racing. Don't forget to bring your scanner the next time you're at a USAC National event, as all of our broadcast audio is available on frequency 454.5000. Learn more and shop at racingelectronics.com or call them at 1-800-272-7111.
Oh, they're getting anxious.
Let the drivers go ahead and buzz the turns here. A little jackrabbit action. Make sure the track is ready to go as we utilize Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1 as the drivers who will roll the racing surface in.
We talk about Charles Davis Jr., Arizona driver. It brought to mind that Jerry Petty, what a great patron of our sport, really going to try to revive the Western world as one of the premier races. We'll be talking about that a lot as time goes on. He's going to have some extra things going on. out of that beautiful Grand Canyon State.
You know, I keep saying it, people think that I'm being facetious. I'm not. Arizona in October is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely so.
Honest Abe Roofing, America's reliable roofer, will present the Fast Qualifying Award for all 3 USAC National Divisions throughout the 2025 season. Honest Abe has been installing, repairing, and maintaining residential roofs since 2005, and they want to give you the perfect roof to protect your home and keep you comfortable. Honest Abe provides the fast service in the roofing industry, and they're supporting the fastest driver in qualifications. Visit honestaberoofing.com today to schedule your free inspection. So for just joining us here on the broadcaster in the grandstands, a little deviation from our normal format where we would come out and qualify single and sometimes 2 cars at a time. Tonight, they qualify by their heat race. And looking at the format and the breakdown, it's very reminiscent of the All-Star format a couple of years ago. And even more today, kind of similar to what we see with the American Sprint Car Series National Tour. So again, it's kind of a common format, and it's one, like you said, that's utilized really quite a bit around a lot of the local tracks on a weekly basis.
It absolutely is. It's used regularly in Lincoln Park in Bloomington. And quite frankly, I think it works well.
So again, to clarify, there's no passing points. Unlike the BC39 where we utilize passing points, that is not the case here. And there will still be an Honest Abe Roofing fast qualifier, so the driver who is fastest out of all 5 of our qualifying groups, ergo 5 heat races a little bit later on, they will get that extra $150 courtesy of Honest Abe Roofing. Car IQ has created a payment solution aimed at fleets that allows cars and trucks to connect to gas pumps and pay for fuel without the need of a fuel card or a credit card. Learn more at gocariq.com as we go to green here in dirt track hot left session number 1, combined with Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Get 4 times around for these drivers. Fast lap time will count towards our qualifying effort. There is a 4-car inversion in each one of these heat races. And it still pays to be quick time because the quickest qualifying driver transferring into the feature event goes into the dash out of each one of these heat races. Davis Jr. so far with the quickest lap time turn at a 12:8:34. Chase Stocking currently second quick at a 12:9:56. As 4 laps in the books here for qualifying. So group number 1, Charles Davis Jr. is your quick qualifier at a 12:8:34. His 4th time around was his quickest lap. When you're yellow flag conditions, looks like I may have gotten a little ahead of myself. Looks like they were actually hot lapping there. My apologies on that. But Charles can translate that speed into his qualifying run. Of course, the trick here is you're having to give yourself enough space to hopefully not close up on somebody.
That's right.
So you can see there, Charles, he made a little bit of a strategy move there.
He did.
He was behind the 6 of Calderwood, that MP Environmental, JFM number 6. He is going ahead and getting in front of him and getting up behind the 12 of Robert Ballou.
Sometimes old age and treachery can conquer youth and skill.
Charles calls himself old. He's not a spring chicken, but he's not far enough along the path to be considered old.
Not in my book, because the guy can still win races.
And when he does. So letting the drivers roll the track just a little bit here before we set them loose. Hoosier Racing Tires' mission is to be the dominant customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. Their existence and continued success are dependent upon how well they meet their responsibilities to serve their customers by providing safe, quality products to amateur and professional motorsports teams. For more information on the tires designed for champions, online to HoosierTire.com. session right now, just shy of the midpoint of the turns here. They'll start to come around and lay down some time. Again, 4 laps, and Chase Stockin. He was second quick in that hot lap session. He's going to jump up to the top of the board after the opening lap at 12:05.99.
Yeah, Charles Davis Jr. out of the top.
12:05.58. Stockin back to second. Ballou sitting in third. As problems for Bacon in the 20. He'll come to a stopover in turns 3 and 4. So Brady Bacon coming to a rest over in turns 3 and 4 in the Concord American flagpole number 20. So 2 laps do remain in this qualifying session. Again, group number 1 out to the speedway. If you're just joining us here on the FloRacing broadcast or in the grandstands.
By the way, longtime IMS IndyCar media guru Paul Kelly is right behind us, I understand, in the media center. Better known as the lead singer of Stretch Armstrong, his rock and roll group.
Still going to wind back up 2 laps in. Again, they get 4 laps total. The caution coming out from Brady Bacon. They're coming to a stop over turns 3 and 4. As they'll get back to speed here. Charles Davis Jr. so far the quickest driver in this group qualifying session at a 12:05.58. Time starting to shift here. Robert Ballou going to the top of the charts here. Bacon's up to second. Davis back to third. Coming around to the drop of the checkered flag, Robert Ballou, 12:3.89. It's the time for everybody to beat. They're all going to make their way around, and we'll see if anybody can get there.
Don't think so, Brian. Think Robert's going to get it.
So Robert Ballou, quickest driver here in Honest Abe Roofing Group qualifying session number 1, a 12:3.89. Brady Bacon at 12:5.23. Charles Davis Jr. at 12:5.58. Chase Stockin at 12:5.99. 5th quick was Jerry Coons Jr. at 12:7.42. Then Calderwood and Cromwell rounding out the drivers on track here for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying group number 1. Again, combined with Dirt Draft Hot Laps. So I mentioned again, there's a 4-car inversion in each one of these heat races. Top 3 finishers will advance on into the feature. The next 2 will transfer into your Elliott's Custom Trailers Kart semi-feature event and will be lined up by position by their qualifying time. The balance of the race field from 6 on back advancing into the C main, and they are lined up by position again, shuffled by time. For the feature, the fastest transferring cars from the heat races advance into the redraw. They'll draw positions 1 through 5. Heat race winners not in the redraw line up next by time. Semi-feature transferring drivers tag the tail end of the field. As Honest Abe Roofing qualifying group number 2 will begin to make its way out to the racing surface. Indy Metal Finishing is the official sponsor of the USAC work area. Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. Visit them online at indymetalfinishing.com. Shane Cottle rolling down the front straightaway here at Kansas, Illinois. Driver the SRI Indy, rider-powered Spike Chassis, Sons of the American Legion, Indy Race Parts number 34. He'll come to a stop here and get ready to go in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying group number 2. Mitchell Moles at Raisin City, California. The AME Electrical, the Valley Transportation, Kaiser, Stanton Spike, Reinbold Underwood Motorsports of 19 AZ. And a brand new look for Cale Drake at Collinsville, Oklahoma. The Pendleton Farms, Bennick Enterprises, Honest Abe Roofing, John and Cheryl Long, DRC Claxon Power number 2B. Adding a little bit of silver to the front of that car. Very, very sharp here to kick off Indiana Sprint Week. Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana. The Britt Arrow Timberland Limit Company, DNJ Power, DRC Chassis, Ace Construction number 16. Also sitting here on the front straightaway. Looking onto the back straightaway, Max Adams out of Loomis, California. The Landon Simon Racing Parts Authority, Knox Enterprises, the Hayloft MPV Express number 24. Joined by the 5. Jake Swanson, he's out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Breaking, Snake Enterprises, One Way DRC, Darty Motorsports, KC Enterprise, or CK Enterprises, number 5T. And the final driver to fire will be the OG. That is going to be Kyle Shipley out of Phoenix, Arizona, the Central Security and Communications, Birchie's Lawn Care and Landscaping, Ben's Asphalt, Apache Transport, Old Town Design Group, The Blind Man, DT Oil Services, 0G.
Kyle's been quick this year. Picked up a victory at Lincoln Park Speedway locally. Took a little bit of a tumble at Bloomington Speedway, but he's shown plenty of hops this year. Harley Burns having a good year. He's a former Bloomington Speedway track champion. Has won a couple of big events this year. His dad was a Lincoln Park Speedway track champion. He a Bloomington Speedway king.
Speaking of the Landon Simon number 24, the Hayloft, presenting the Haymaker Award, a $100 gift card to the slowest qualifier to transfer from the outside of the invert in each heat race. If unclaimed, it goes to the slowest qualifier to transfer out of the semi-feature event. They're also doing a $100 hard work cash award for the slowest qualifier to make it into tonight's feature event.
Well, this is going to be very interesting to see how this racetrack shapes up. Now, that 34 car we've seen in victory lane a lot over there. Now, it stopped over there in turn number 4, but we know where Shane Cottle likes to go, off on the bottom of the racetrack. We've seen Brent Beauchamp has won a couple of Lincoln Park Speedways. I had thought that Brent was going to run this here and call it a career.
Initially, that was the thought, but it looks like not able to make the call here. As talking about the 40 drivers who was set to be here, a couple of them with mechanical issues and not able to make it. Mesereau was actually supposed to be behind the wheel of that number 24. He took an absolute brutal hit, getting upside down about a week ago, so he is still just a little bit too sore to get in the car and decided, you know what, it's better if I just don't.
Yeah, that's a good decision by Team S. But Cottle, if there's something on the bottom, he's going to find it.
There could be nothing on the bottom, and he'll find
He
it.
can. He's had a remarkable career. When I first saw him, he was outstanding in the mini sprint ranks, the AMSA, I believe, American Mini Sprint Association. Then he went to the modifieds. He's had quite a career in sprint cars and silver cars.
Swanson coming to a stop at the exit of turn number 2. It looks like safety stops for both drivers, and what that can entail is, you know, if their receiver's not working, they can stop at officials. They can swap that out. Sometimes you'll have normally in the tower, in this case, in the scissor lift, they'll radio down and say, hey, that transponder's not working. We need to stop him and we need to swap it out. So they have transponders sitting down, not in their pockets, because if they're actually roaming around in the infield, they get too close to the loop, it'll trip it. So they'll keep it down in one of the safety vehicles. That way it's well away from that scoring loop. Very simple technology revolutionized timing and scoring.
Two things that have just been tremendous in terms of expediting programs in my long career: transponder scoring and the race receiver mechanism to communicate just has made a huge, huge difference.
Of course, a lot of drivers utilizing the receiver, which is courtesy of Racing Electronics. One of the cool things, too, when you get that, you definitely want to spend the money and get the molded earplugs.
Yeah, makes sense.
What's nice at Expo is I can just take one of their receivers, I can change it to the frequency of our officials, and I can put those in, and even with the headphones, I can still hear what's going on. At the end of the night, my head's not just buzzing.
I've worked as a production assistant for the Indianapolis 500. I worked with Al Michaels, I worked with Bert Musburger and Terry Gannon, and I had a headset that had timing and scoring, which was usually Barb Hellier, someone we all know, and then the producer for Al Michaels or Brent Musburger in each year. I must tell you that drove me almost completely up the wall.
You're trying to talk and you have voices in your head that you're not used to.
Yeah, it was a challenge.
So giving the drivers some time to roll around, we get the two drivers that did the safety stop a chance to refire here. And we'll set them loose again 4 times around. Fastest qualifying time, counting towards your qualifying effort. Shirt number 2 out to the racetrack of 5 here in Odyssey Olympic qualifying in combination with your dirt track hot lap.
It's a little smoke on a Chevrolet car. It may be inconsequential.
24. Got her all kinds of sideways there at the exit. Turn number 2 gets it back underneath him here. Through the warm-up lap now, they're starting to lay down some times. Mitchell Moles so far, leading driver on track. He'll come around and look off lap number 2, and he'll be faster. 12:309 for the car for 19 AZ. Swanson second quick on his second time around, and a 12:537. And problems for Shipley, the OG.
Yeah, I saw some smoke out of that. Now, you've got a better eye for that kind of thing than I do to diagnose if it's significant or not, but I clearly saw it. Mitchell Bull's having a good year, 3rd in points.
34 also with issues over there. They will get Cottle pointed back onto the racing surface. Not sure exactly what happened, if there's anything involving the two of those drivers. And I believe Drake did get a look at what happened.
Indeed, I did, Brian, and still trying to get a look at the OG of Kyle Shipley's car, still trying to figure out what happened to him. But yeah, Shane Cottle just got behind him off of turn number 2, and I think the Zero slowed a lot faster than Cottle was ready for. So he swerved down the infield, a really good maneuver on Cottle's part to just get out of the way there and avoid a big crash down the back straightaway.
Thank you very much. And we kind of alluded to that earlier. Sometimes that's one of the things you really have to watch out for in a group qualifying setting, is that closing rate and trying not to get up on somebody a little bit too quick, because it looks like Kel Drake, again, having to stop and talk to officials. And again, a safety stop. Looks like they're going to go ahead and get him checked out and try to get him refired.
You know, if you have a normal qualifying procedure and you set a feature lineup, you kind of know where the fast guys are, those in the middle, etc. Adjust to that. But you're right, in this format, you put them all in a blender. You've got to keep your head open, eyes open about that.
So if you're wondering, well, why aren't they running their normal format? The track, as you see it, is not really set up to single car qualify.
Correct.
As you would have to have your warm-up lap, your 2 laps, plus another lap and a half. You take the car down through the infield, down the exit and entrance, the same point of ingress and egress, and then you have to have the car so far back, there's not really enough room to safely fire the car to get onto the racetrack. So at which point then you have safety vehicles coming out, and what would be a normally 20-25 minute process could easily be an hour and 25 minute process.
I said this all the time when I was on the road with the Indy Racing League. We did a qualifying session once in Texas where we incorporated a pit stop. That's right, we did that. I've watched 1,000 formats over the years, Brian, and the odd thing I've always noticed is the best guys get to the top somehow.
There's no good format. There's no perfect.
No perfect format.
So it looks like more than a safety stop on the number 2B. They're going to get the hook on the back of Kel Drake's machine, so they'll get him back to the Bennett Enterprises pit area, get a look on that car and see what exactly went awry. They're going to go ahead and take him down into the infield and try to get this qualifying session in the books, it looks like. See if they go ahead and make that turn onto the road here. They will not. They're going to bring him down by the wall.
You know, Shane Cottle's at an interesting point in his career. He has nothing to prove to anyone. He's won lots of races. I tried to get him to come to Bloomington for a high pair this year, and he looked at me and said, I think I'd rather go fishing that night.
And problems again for Shipley. Right as we got things wound back up here, the 0G, we'll see if he's able to do a quick turn down into the infield. Looks like that will not be the case here. He's going to go ahead and roll to a stop on the back straightaway. Real quick, let's go down trackside.
Just spoke to Cale Drake a second ago, Brian. He said the ball housing on the rear end came loose, so that's going to be qualifying session done for him, as you said earlier.
Try one rear end, and we'll get the 0G down into the infield, and we'll go back to green here in Honestly Roofing qualifying for group number 2. 3 laps remain for these drivers to establish their best qualifying time. Still top of the charts. Swanson going to improve up into second with a 12:47.178 off the pace of Mitchell Mole. As Mole's going to come around his final trip of velocity, going to be a 12:733. Swanson, final time by, going to be his best attempt at a 12:355. Shane Cottle, a 12:543. Cale Drake, even though having to go down into the infield still with a decent lap time at a 12:646. 12:567 for Harley Burns. Max Adams a 12:712, and Kyle Shipley a 12:970. So if you're watching on live timing and scoring, you'll say, but you said 4, it says 5. Well, when we have a caution like that, they have to basically do a reset, let them get warm back up, and get everybody back on that same lap. So again, this is why we say when you see it on Race Monitor or on social media, it is unofficial. So on to State Roofing qualifying group number 3, going to begin to make its way out to the speedway here in just a moment.
It was Dave Thompson encouraging the troops to come on out.
So the car is going to begin to make their way out again. This is only night number 1 of NOS Energy Drink Getting a Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. Tomorrow we head up the road to downtown Putnamville, Indiana. Honest Abe Roofing, Lincoln Park Speedway. Kokomo going to be coming up after that. Lawrenceburg on Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday we're set to kind of take a break, let everybody get stuff back together, and reset down to Circle City Raceway, then Terre Haute, then Bloomington, and we end things out at Tri-State Speedway. The class track going to be on August 2nd. And, of course, after that, Salem Speedway, the return of Silver Crown competition to the High Banks down in Salem, Indiana. And it is the season for the Dirt Miles, Illinois State Fairgrounds. The Bentonhausen 100 going to be on August 16th. And, of course, back at Kokomo, the kickoff of the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Sprint Car Smackdown. That's going to start on August 21st. Of course, you can see this and more when you go online to USACracing.com.
And, Brian, just something to mention as we look towards the DeCoin weekend, we had the rain out during Indiana Midget Week at Bloomington Speedway, and that is now set for the end of August.
So cars will begin to fire here for Honest Abe Roofing Group Qualifying Session number 3. The 19 down the back straightaway. Hayden Reinbold of Gilbert, Arizona. The AMA Electrical Levante Windows and Doors Indy Race Parts number 19. The driver rolling behind him, it's going to be Trey Osborne out of Columbus, Ohio. The Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated Jet Fuel Trailer Sales, Hidden Hoof Hollow Farms. Beachwold Automotive, Larry Ebert owned number 6T. Race winner last night of the Race 8 100 at Greenfield, Indiana. The Curve Records, Kodiak Products, Oakcraft Elegant Cabinetry, Tierra Arizona, Quebec, Janian Race at number 21 AZ. That is CJ Leary. CJ Leary in the number 21. Todd Hobson at Clyde, Victoria, Australia, making his way off into turns 1 and 2 right now. The MBL Transport, Easy Print, Innovative Slots, Wingo Freeland Power, DRC number 77. Going to make his way around to the backside of the speedway.
Todd is still the point leader at Paragon Speedway.
Kobe Simpson at Bonham, Texas. The Beattown Automotive, Circle C Adventures, Canada DRC, Scorpion Raceware, Tom's Up Here by Quality Thread, number 21K. The Purple Machine rolling over in turns 3 and 4. Looking over the racetrack, and a couple more drivers still to tell you about. Over into turn number 3, that is Brandon Maddox out of Terre Haute, Indiana. The Maddox Heating and Cooling Pro Source, Gressman DRC Chassis, number 28. On the back straightway, Kyle Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana. The Avante Windows and Doors, Premier Recycling, Apache Transport, Petty Performance Racing, number 3P. And the driver rolling in behind him. It's been a long time since Slinkard Motorsports has been on the dirt, but here they are with the Unified Group Services, Gray Auto, Hair Trends by Jody. Indy Bed, Bug, and Pest, number 96. Ryland Gray out of Greenfield, Indiana, behind the wheel.
And that's a name with a deep, deep history in open wheel racing this part of the state. Jim Hines, Tracy and Ted's dad, raced for the Slinkard family successfully.
A lot of asphalt racing behind that name.
Yep.
I talked to Ryland, said it'd probably been better part of a decade.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hayden Reinbold's had a nice year in the sprint cars, actually. He's a Rookie of the Year candidate. I've been impressed with him.
Had a little bit of a tumble. I say a little bit, had a massive tumble in Ohio.
Yeah, he did.
And actually got a brand new car out, and that's kind of flipped a little bit of a switch. We've seen that sometimes where maybe you find out, man, that car, it was good, but this one's great. Car is working through the warm-up lap here. Leary. Looks like issues at the exit of turn number 4. He's going to go ahead and get back to the throttle here as they work onto the far side of the racetrack. Hobson's able to make his way by, allowing him to get some distance here, and he's going to get back on the throttle. Of course, Leary won the exhibition race here last year during the BC 39, and that really kind of opened the floodgates and opened the door to this race becoming a reality. Has come in so far with the fastest lap time with 2 laps completed. White flag coming out right now, a 12:368. Trey Osborne second pick right now at a 12:645. Something not right on that Curve Records number 21. At both ends of the racetrack, he has been struggling as they come around to wait for the checkered flag here.
Yeah, he is struggling.
So Kyle Cummins going to be the fastest driver here in Honestly Roofing Group qualifying number 3, a 12.368. Trey Osborne at 12.645. Todd Hobson third quick at a 12.938. And Ryland Gray fourth quick at a 12.979. Remember, a 4-car inversion in each one of these heat races, so that's going to put Gray up to the pole position. Hayden Reinbold, 13.102. Brandon Maddox, 13.157. Kobe Simpson, 13.323. And CJ Leary at 13.449.
I enjoy the fact that Trey Osborne embraces what we all see by just putting tall on his sunscreen. He told my daughter at Bloomington Speedway that an accident that he had involving his back cost him 1.5 inches of height.
Probably talking about the one in Ocala.
Ocala, no doubt, yeah. I've lost 1.5 inches of my height, and that's called gravity. CJ, that win last night, it just had to take a lot of a burden off of his shoulders. I mean, not only had he not won, but he lost his dad, and they were incredibly close, working companions, and you could see for the long time the pain on his face. So I think a lot of people were really happy for him to really get back into victory lane.
Not only did he go to victory lane, he took his dad back to victory lane because his dad's name is on the sun visor of that car. So great to see him get the win. Looked like something on the car maybe quite off there in qualifying, as when he would go in, it was almost like the car was losing power.
It sure did, yeah.
Again, speculating, not saying what was going on. Next group of cars coming out to the speedway. Before we get to that, whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, a midget, a modified, a sprint car, Silver Crown, a late model, even a tractor, Rod Supply has the assortment of rod ends and radius rods and specialty products that will help keep you at the front of the field and performing at your maximum potential. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Visit rodsupply.com for more information.
It sometimes gets forgotten, and I think we probably mentioned it last night, Brian, that CJ and Chuck are the only father and son combination winners in Silver Crown history. Pretty amazing.
Group number 4 out to the speedway. Carson Short to Marion, Illinois, the Auto Wheel and Rim, Spec Power, DRC. Randy Edwards own number 21M joining us out to the speedway. Wesley Smith out of Nixon, Missouri, the CarQuest All Metal Recycling, Helm Racing, Claxton DRC number 44. Also set to lay down his best qualifying time. Briggs Danner coming off of his first career Silver Crown victory out at Salt City Speedway in Kansas back on the 19th, and the E. Schneider & Sons Recycling Rider DRC, Oshucks Roasted Corn Boulevard Truck Repair number 39. Just off of his first win of the season, out with the USAC East Coast Series. The 88J, Joey Amanti out of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. The JP Mason, Amanti Real Estate, Newman Sterling Chassis number 88. Rolling into turn number 1, Justin Grant out of Ione, California. The NOS Energy Drink, MPP Logistics, Kistler Maxim number 4. And back to his number 14, Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana. The Parallax Group, Beasley Railcar Repair, Spec Power, DRC, Dan's Auto Service number 14. Ricky Lewis, who had initially planned on running the entire national touring schedule this season, plans changing and now chasing the USAC CRA presented by Avante Windows Indoors schedule. But in the meantime, he's raced here, there, and everywhere and picked up 13 wins along the way in the Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultants, Pacific Valley Transportation, D-Transport, Morris Farms, number 41.
Over the last couple of years, he's won more traditional sprint car races than anybody in the country. He's a Boss Series champion along the way. And he's had great success, as you mentioned, in the USAC CRA Series.
7 wins on the season with the USAC CRA Series. 1 with the Midwest Thunder, Great Lakes Traditional Sprints, USCS out in California 3 times, and a weekly win at Paragon.
Very first win in a sprint car came at Paragon Speedway 2 or 3 years ago, like on his 19th birthday, 18th, somewhere along there.
So he's at 13 on the season. Last year he won 25.
25, right. But I think it's been important for him in his development to step up and to race here, to race on the West Coast, because you know you got to test your mettle at some point against the very best in the business.
You know, a lot of that, and he's talked about it. He goes, I have the equipment, I just don't have the engine yet.
And the infrastructure and all of it. A lot of people underestimate, I don't care if we're talking High Limit World of Outlaws, USAC, I don't care what it is, a major traveling series. You think you're ready until you do it, and then you realize, no, I was not.
Yeah, you'll find out real quick, and a lot of times you'll come out that first year and it goes remarkably well. You win some races, and then you come back and it's the sophomore slump, and you find out, oh, this is what it's like.
Yeah, this is serious business.
Field going to wind up here for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying group number 4. We got 1 more to go after this. Again, drivers qualifying against their heat race. 4-car inversion in each one of these qualifying sessions. Where's your time? Ballou Jr. out the 9. Drivers working through the warm-up lap, now coming around and starting to lay down lap times. And Ricky Lewis runs the top of the boards at a 12.896, but Justin Grant at a 12.711. Coming around, and he'll take over the top of the field. Briggs Danner, of course, utilizing lessons learned at an Action Track USA. He's going to go to the top of the charts here at a 12.629, 1:2.69 seconds. Briggs Danner. Third time around, better, 12.40. Grant also better, still second quick, a 12.527. Drivers working on their final lap of qualifying here. Danner, fourth time by. His third time by will be his best attempt, but Justin Grant coming around the line number 4, 12.039 seconds.
Wow, good lap there for Justin. Briggs Danner, again, a two-time at least USAC East Coast sprint car champion. He's just a darn good racer. Good to see him get that first Silver Crown win, but it was Justin Grant in the waning moments there taking away, Brian.
The NOS top number 4 up to the top of the boards here, 12.039. Briggs Danner 12.40. Ricky Lewis a 12.611, and Jaden Rogers fourth quick. That'll put him on the pole here when it comes time for heat race number 4 at a 12.733.
Justin's had that long relationship with Top Motorsports now, and that pays off in terms of looking at the national record book.
Yeah, they are the winningest combination of entrant and driver now in USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Competition.
You know, he's made the switch in the midget this year with Chad Boat at CB Industries, but he's had the long relationship with Ron Hamilgren and Dennis LaCava in that Silver Crown group, and this is an operation he has a lot to do with, and you both know that. But sometimes that consistency really pays off in the long run.
Of course, had led the midget standings and has fallen back to second by only a couple of points. Cannon McIntosh taking over in that one. Still leads on the Silver Crown side. And if he can get up and sweep all 3 series here this season, it's a $500,000.
Yeah.
So he's got quite the carrot he's chasing this year.
I don't think Ashley is aware of that bonus now, is she?
Wait, who?
He's a smart guy. I once asked him several years ago, just as a friend, listen, are you preparing? Are you taking care of your money? And he says, Pat, I have very short arms and very long pockets.
I don't know. I'm not sure the age of his kids right now. I just know that would buy a lot of Robux.
Oh, absolutely.
So the final group of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying out to the Speedway, the one, the only, Bill Rose at Plainfield, Indiana, the C&D Rigging, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, the Sea Valley Transportation, Hellraiser Jack Simpson, Saldana Racing Products, number 6R, sitting down here on the front straightaway. The 61M, that is Brady Short at Bedford, Indiana, the Edwards Motorsports, England Machine and Tool, number 61M. Sitting on the racetrack as well, and I don't think I've ever seen this much color on an Epperson painting number
Never.
2E, but Carson Garrett at
Absolutely
Littleton,
not.
Colorado. In at that number 2, of course, fresh off of his first career USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National score here just a few weeks ago up at the Honest Abe Roofing Lincoln Park Speedway during the Sprintacular. Kevin Thomas Jr. firing off into turn number 1 at Coleman, Alabama. The Inferno Armor, Majestic Electric, Rock City Racing, Mach 1 Stanton number 3R. The 24M also entering turn number 1 right now at Bedford, Indiana. The TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Megacorp Logistics, DRC number 24M. That is Hunter Maddox.
No one has won more track championships at Bloomington Speedway than Brady Short. Also great success in the old Midwest MSCS sprint car ranks. And again, I have to agree with you, Ryan. I mean, the irony, of course, is it's Epperson painting.
But
right?
one thing, though, is outside of body shop owners, anybody I've known that races and they paint for a living is either a plain white car or a plain black car.
I heard you saying that, but I guess they did that, and Tony looked at it and said, yeah, okay. But that is
Yeah, Tony didn't know. They just did it.
That's by far the most color there's ever been on that race car. Boy, that Logan CV car, I thought it looked good when I saw it posted on social media. When I got up close and personal, that is a cool looking race car.
Speaking of the number 57, Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Elbrecht Concrete, Indy Power Sports, Carrington Homes, Indy Custom Stone, CGCPAs, all supporters of the number 57 here during your Indiana Sprint Week run. Driver rolling behind him, Gunnar Setzer to Columbus, Indiana, the Midwest 2 Mills, Davis Brothers, S&C Machine, Boiler Performance Flea RC number 5.
Now I'm going to maybe guess on the year and be off a year or two, but Bill Rose was the Water Solutions Unlimited, I believe the sponsor, most improved USAC driver, I think, in 1993 or 1994.
We await the text to confirm.
Well, That's how long he was there, and he was a regular race dirt and pavement, and subsequently won an IRA championship, Rookie of the Year of the World of Outlaws, won World with Ballou. It's been a remarkable career.
One more driver to take on the racetrack. Going to come to speed at the exit turn number 2. That is Chance Crum. It's Thomas Washington, the Pit Logic, 8-3 Customs, FP3 Power, USAC Jackson, number 83. Drivers on the warm-up lap, and the clock about to begin. Problems for Crum. Going to come to a stop here on the back straightaway. Not quite down to the infield, and that's going to draw the caution. So everybody else able to come around and click off a lap, and Logan Seavey with the quickest time thus far to 12:06.81, but problems befall the 83. See if Crum is able to refire here. So far, looks like that is not the case for the Race Redeem Foundation. Up as I say that, she'll finally take off. Just took a little longer.
It was great to see Tony Epperson back in a victory lane in a USAC race. That car and driver, Team Ez has raced in one. Shane Cottle often has raced in one. On the local scene, it seems to always be good for a win or two a year. Always gets a good race driver because it's a good race car. But to get a USAC win with Carson his first had to be very special.
And talking to I want to say it was his grandson earlier, and he said, one tough thing is, well, the paint doesn't make it go faster. I heard that a lot growing up.
That was the Hoffman family's feeling about their tow rig and their trailer. Put your money in the race car.
Something going awry on Crum's car once again. This time he's going to go ahead and pull it down into the infield, and he's going to call it quits. Carson Garrett goes quickest so far as the white flag is flying at 12:06.81. Logan Seavey had that position with a 12:06.51. They're going to come around to the wave of the checkered flag. Second there, I thought Brady Short was going to steal it away, and at 12:06.73. No, it will be Kevin Thomas Jr. who steals it away at 12:05.17. Carson Garrett, 12:06.61. Brady Short at 12:06.73. Logan Seavey, fourth quick at a 12:06.81. Gunnar Setzer at 12:07.10. Hunter Maddox at 12:08.92. Bill Rose, 13:06.24. And Chance Crum was able to complete one lap of qualifying at a 15:2.64. So group number 1, it was Robert Ballou at a 12:03.89. Group number 2 at a 12:03.09 was Mitchell Moles. Group number 3 at a 12:03.68 was Kyle Cummins. Group number 4 at a 12:03.9, and that would be your Honest Abe Roofing Quick Qualifier, would be Justin Grant. And in group number 5, it is Kevin Thomas Jr. of the 12:05.17.
Had a little bit of a ledge developing over there, Ryan.
Yeah, the cushion coming in, and during that first group, it was about halfway up the racetrack. Over into turns 3 and 4, it's really progressed quite nicely there, about a little over half up to 3/4 of the way. And 1 and 2, it's still a little down on the racetrack. So Crum down to the infield, had problems in that final flight of qualifying. Drake, I believe, with an update.
Yeah, just briefly got to talk to him for a second there once we got through Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. He doesn't really know what the issue is at the moment, but he told me simply that engine's not run right, so he's very anxious to get back to the pit area and start working on that 83C.
as this is the first time that the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship has been in competition. That means tonight's quick qualifier is also now your track record holder. So 12.039 seconds, fourth time this season. Justin Grant has been your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier. And the second time this season, he has set a track record. His other one coming back in June at Big Diamond during the Eastern Storm. So Grant going to make his way down into victory lane in just a moment. He's going to get a word with Christy Bemis.
So Justin Grant, now your Honest Abe Roofing fast qualifier here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the dirt track at IMS. And of course, Justin, you've got wins here in the USAC Now Sun Drink National Midget Series, but how cool is it to stake your claim as the track holder with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series?
Yeah, cool to get the track record there. And yeah, our NOS Energy Drink Top Motorsports MPV Logistics #4 was really good. We've been working really hard, Jeff and Nick and everybody. We've been working on motors and working on chassis and trying to get things really good, and feels like we're really finding our stride and finding our happy spot with that stuff. So it feels good. Go out, set quick time, and be the track record holder here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is pretty neat. And thanks for all the fans coming out. I know it's hot and a little bit of a hassle to get in here sometimes, but appreciate you coming out.
The racetrack a little bit tackier right now than it tends to be during the early stages of a night of the BC 39, and of course the racetrack going to change quite a bit more and more quickly with sprint cars on it compared to midgets, although there are more cars for the BC 39 and all of those things that contribute to it. How much more difficult is it to keep up with the different car and the different track conditions and changing quickly and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's important to take what you've learned here with the midgets, but also important not to get your feet too buried in what you know and have a open your eyes or have an open mind to what the track's going to do, and because it will develop differently, and it looks like they've worked it a little differently. It's got a lot more material in 3 and 4 than it normally does, and 1 and 2 is really similar to how it is with the midgets. 3 and 4 is a lot thicker, but sprint cars are going to move things up really quick, and it'll get to the wall in a hurry, I would imagine. And so just taking what you know, but not being too stubborn to look at what's happening.
Well, he knows sprint cars, he knows midgets, he knows the dirt track at IMS. That's Justin Grant. He's your Honest Abe Roofing fast qualifier for night number 1 of NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. He's now your track record holder here at the dirt track at IMS.
A little bit of moisture being laid down onto the racing surface. Real quick, let's check in with Drake. And scratch that here. Drake still on the prowl, so as we wait, as they do a little bit of track work, let's go ahead and get a couple of commercials worked in here. You are watching live on FloRacing, the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, night number 1 of the NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing.
Hi, my name is Aiden Slidham. I'm from Greenwood, Indiana. My home track is Mini Indy Speedway, and the thing I'm most excited about for the Petty Performance Edge competition is to have a chance at the 2026 Tulsa Shootout. Thank you for your consideration and giving me a chance for this competition.
Hey race fans, have you set your Dirt Draft lineup yet? Dirt Draft is the fantasy racing app you can download right on your phone. Pick a team of 5 drivers within your $100,000 salary cap, and the better they do, the better you do. You earn points to spend in the Dirt Draft Speed Shop for all kinds of cool stuff, from t-shirts and hats, race tickets and pit passes, or even a season pass to FloRacing. New subscribers even get a free Dirt Draft t-shirt. Download the Dirt Draft app now from the Apple app or Google Play Store.
Are you looking for a new race car hauler, trailer, or easy-go golf cart? What about something dependable? How about buying from someone you can depend on? Contact Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts. They're a certified Featherlight dealer with all kinds of trailers and other products to fit your needs. Located just 2 hours north of downtown Indianapolis, Elliott's Custom Trailers will deliver your trailer or cart anywhere in the United States. No matter where you're from or what you're looking for, the goal is always the same: ultimate customer satisfaction. So don't wait. Contact Elliott's today and find a trailer or golf cart that fits your needs.
Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. If you have any questions, please call Indy Metal Finishing today at 317-858-5353. Find them online at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Indy Metal Finishing, or visit their website at indymetalfinishing.com.
Our summer block party is in full swing at Lou Fuse Kia Terre Haute. Celebrate summer with incredible deals like the all-new K4, $199 a month, new Sportage, $239 a month, or new Telluride, $379 a month, all backed by Fuse. Celebrate and save at our summer block party. K4's $199, Sportage's $239, Telluride's $379 at Lou Fuse Kia Terre Haute, home of the 200,000-mile warranty. Lou Fuse, we are family.
Hey, are you caught in the tariff trap, rising costs, and unpredictable delays? Well, it's time to reshore, reclaim, and reinvent with Parallax Group Incorporated. With over 30 years of expertise, we deliver high-quality assembly and manufacturing solutions right here in North America. Our strategically located facility near the U.S. border ensures faster distribution and reduced logistics costs. Experience efficiency, control, and excellence in every product. Parallax Group Incorporated, quality assembly processes in North America.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com, serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hi there, it's Genevieve Malone, and we're here at IMS for the start of Indiana Sprint Week. And for our Cookout Shake of the Race, we have chosen Brady Bacon. I have here Sarah, and Sarah's going to be guessing his favorite flavor from Cookout. Okay, Sarah, what are we feeling for Brady?
Reese's peanut butter.
Reese's peanut butter? Okay, let's see if that is Brady's favorite flavor.
My favorite Cookout Shake flavor is Reese Cup.
You are correct.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Reese's Cup is his favorite flavor from Cookout. So you win something from the USAC gear trailer. So you get to celebrate with all of that. But if you would also like to try something from Cookout, you can go to cookout.com to find the nearest location.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing as a little bit of track work continues here before we get on into opening ceremonies and our heat races. A quick look at qualifying, the overall rundown, Justin Grant at a 12:039. And that came in qualifying group number 4. Qualifying group number 2, drivers occupying second and third, Mitchell Moles and Jake Swanson, a 12:309 and a 12:355. Kyle Cummins, who was in group number 3, was fourth quick at a 12:368. Robert Ballou running at the top 5, and Ballou was in the opening group. His lap time a 12:395. Briggs Danner was 6th quick. Kevin Thomas Jr. was 7th. Brady Bacon and A. Shane Cottle and Charles Davis Jr. ended up making up the top 10. So again, those qualifying efforts still important throughout the remainder of tonight's program. As we get ready to go into heat races, there is a 4-car inversion out of each one of those qualifying groups that will set the lineup. And of course, we'll take the top 3 out of each of those heat races directly on into the feature event. The next 2 drivers in line, 4th and 5th, they'll transfer into your Elliott's Custom Trailers Kart semi-feature event. They are lined up by position and by their time. Balance of the heat race field from 6 on back, advancing on into the C main. They are also lined up by position, shuffled by time. For the feature event, the fastest transferring cars from heat race competition go on into the redraw, positions 1 through 5. So again, that lap time, very, very important.
That's right.
So the water truck making some laps here, not dropping any moisture, just helping pack it in. Let's check in with Drake right quick.
Thank you so much, Brian. Of course, we saw Kyle Shipley in the 0G have some issues there in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. So you and Dave Anderson and the boys have been working on this race car for the last couple of minutes. What exactly happened there?
I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think it was something in the fuel system. I think we found it. Not 100% certain, but I know starting dead last, we've got our work cut out for us. But hopefully we can just go where they're not and get that top 3 position.
And obviously, you just talked about having to start at the back of the field and how aggressive you're going to have to be. Dave Anderson, we talk about him a few times on the FloRacing broadcast. He's a bit of a wizard when it comes to these non-wing 410 sprint cars. Does that allow you and David to be a lot more aggressive when it comes to setup on these race cars, knowing that you're going to have to make a lot of passes here to make the show out straight out of the heat?
I haven't even talked to Dave about setup yet. He asked me how the car was, and I gave him a little bit of feedback, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets very aggressive with it. There's a good possibility I may not even ask him what he does to the car. So I put full faith in him, and I feel confident that as long as the track's wide enough, I think we can come from the back and at least give it a heck of a charge.
Kyle Shipley ready to put on a show here. Reminder, he rolls off from the rear in heat race number 2 here tonight at the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Pat, over the years, how many drivers have you talked to and they said, I don't want to know, I just want to race it?
Well, sometimes the crew chief don't want them to know.
Sometimes you can say, yep, that's what we did, and not turn a bolt.
Jim McQueen was one of the great USAC, great crew chiefs ever, and he had hired Tracy Hines, who was our Grand Marshal last night, and we happened to be on a plane with him coming back from Pikes Peak International. My buddy Brad Dickinson asked Jim McQueen if Tracy could give him good feedback, and Jim looked him straight in the eye and says, I don't want him to give me any feedback, I want him to mash the pedal. So sometimes that relationship's an interesting one. You know, Brian, here's a bizarre tidbit as I'm looking here from our position over at the golf course that's over our shoulder. It's one of the unique aspects of this racetrack. For some reason, I had the memory, and in 1964, the Beatles came and played 2 nights at the Coliseum in Indianapolis, right in the middle of the whole rage, and they'd been on the Ed Sullivan Show. Radio stations had a contest to try to figure out where they were. Well, they were being hidden out at the Speedway Motel by my friend, the late Dave Cassidy, who some of you know ran the second generation 16th Street Speedway. If you look it up, there are some photos of the Beatles playing golf on that golf course. Kind of an interesting little tidbit.
So track work continuing here. Let's go back down to Drake.
Caught up with Logan Calderwood, who's set to roll off 6th in the first heat race of the evening here for night number 1 of the 2025 Indiana Sprint Week. And Logan, you were just telling me before today you had never stepped foot here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We know this place is massive. We know this place is awesome. What was your first impression rolling in today?
There's a lot of it here. I didn't realize that this place is so huge and there's so much here, including the museum and now the dirt track.
Absolutely, and you finally just got your first laps on the dirt track. I know it wasn't exactly the qualifying run you were hoping for, but take us through what needs to be adjusted here for this first heat race coming up.
Probably just going to tighten up a little bit everywhere and fix my driving for this next heat race and try and move up into transfer spot.
And we talk about the tightness of the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What's going to be the key to making passes? Because you've only got so much room to work with here.
Yeah, I just got to run where they're not and hopefully get 1 or 2 off the start.
All right, simple plan there for Arizona's Logan Calderwood, who's set to roll off 6th in heat race number 1.
You know, talking about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this is not just a racetrack. This is a multi-use facility. We talked about the golf course and the history behind it. And you look around, you've got the road course, you've got areas where the NASCAR Youth Series competes over here, and you've got areas for concert venues. So this is not just a race course.
No, absolutely. I mean, they sort of incorporated the old Snake Pit, the place I saw my very first Indianapolis 500. And then they tried to clean it up a little bit by having a concert venue, but that's very, very popular. And one of the really sage moves that happened, now it's a couple decades deep, maybe I lose track of time, but Carburation Day, the final practice day, of course, I've been a carburetor on a car here in a long, long time, but was always on Thursday. They moved it to Friday. All of a sudden the crowds went up. We had the pit stop competition for years. Then they added the concerts, and suddenly that became the second biggest day of the entire month. That with qualifying day 1. It is an amazing facility. I have the chance to do the press conferences here for years and years and years, and it was the great Ron Green, who was actually watching, got me that opportunity. I'll never, I can't thank him enough for that. But I remember I had to interview Paul Diatlovich, a famous mechanic here, after he had just missed out on the 500. An incredible disappointment. And I asked him about his feeling, and he said, every day you drive into this racetrack, it is a privilege. And if you think that I'm feeling sorry for myself, you're wrong. I've had the chance to compete at this place, and I can tell you, to this day, when I go underneath that tunnel, there's goosebumps, because this is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's all you have to say.
Real quick, let's go back down to Drake.
Caught up with Robert Ballou, who's going to start 4th in heat race number 1 by virtue of being the quickest car in his group. And Robert, tell us about what worked so well there for you on Honest Abe Roofing qualifying to net the fastest time in your group, at least.
They said that in order to get into the redraw, you had to tighten your seat belts up and put your helmet on backwards. So obviously that's what we did. We got a lot of this is a big deal to be able to race at the IMS dirt track, and we got a lot of good sponsors here, and Pete and with Suburban Subaru and Deaton's Waterfront Service and Berks Western Telecom and Hinchman Racing Uniforms, and I got a crew that all volunteers, and they don't come here to run last, so I need to get them on the front stretch here soon. We got a guy, Brian Henry from Peter-in-law of mine from Motor Vault, 2209 Cord Street. We'd like to get him in Victory Lane tonight too, so he can know what it's like to see Victory Lane, and we should be good tonight.
Last year you were here a part of that 10-car Stoops Pursuit here, a really special invitational deal, and awesome to see you back here at the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as well. And you had a pretty good run in that Stoops Pursuit. And talking to a couple teams earlier today, they hadn't really transferred their notebook over here to 2025 to run Sprint Week. What is it like for you so far? Are you still able to kind of reuse some of those notes from last year, or is it a whole different ball game here this year?
This is a totally different racetrack. Reese O'Connor's done one heck of a job getting this place juiced up for tonight. I think you'll have some 2 or 3 lanes of racing. I think it's going to race a lot better this year than it did last year for us. It was okay last year. I was a little skeptical, but I think with the way that the racetrack appears to be shaping up, it should be 2 and 3 wides, slide jobs, and hopefully everybody keeps their race cars in one piece, because we got one really long week ahead of us, and hopefully all these fans, I know it was expensive to get in here, but there was a lot of money that USAC and everybody's put into making this event happen, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys coming out here. We got some new merchandise, actually a lot of new merchandise in our trailer in the last that we just got yesterday, and each and every one of us drivers, this is what it takes to help keep us going up and down the road, and we appreciate each and every one of you. So Thank you, Doug Bowles, Roger Pinsky, USAC, and everyone, and thank all you fans for coming out here, and hopefully we give you one hell of a show this evening.
The Madman always keeps it interesting. He's going to roll from 4th in heat race number 1, getting close to opening ceremonies here for night number 1 of Indiana Sprint Week.
Indeed, it is time for opening ceremonies. Let's go down to Victory Lane.
Well, before we get too far into opening ceremonies, we have some special rings to present to your 2024 AMSL USAC National Sprint Car Champion, Logan Seavey, who just received that 2024 championship ring, adding it to your collection of championship rings with the USAC Silver Crown Series and the USAC Austin Drink National Midget Series as well. This one, kind of the final feather in your cap as far as national championships go with USAC. Was it just as special as the first one?
Yeah, I think so. That first one came right away. I think, my first year with Keith there in 2018 when I first got out here, and it was still pretty surreal. And then, then you kind of, run out here for 6 or 7 years and lose a bunch and get beat a bunch. That first one, felt like it came easy, and then none of the rest of them came easy at all. So worked really hard for that crown one, and this one I thought would be the toughest, and it was. So cool to build this team last year with these guys and come out and have the year we did was pretty unbelievable, and I feel like we're finally getting back on track to get back to that form. So. Yeah, it feels great to, like you said, get the last piece of the puzzle for the Triple Crown, and now we'll just keep plugging away, try to win some more races and win some more of these things. So we're a little behind right now, but we got some digging to do, and this is a great week to do it.
Obviously, the dirt track at IMS a really great time to turn things around for your season, but 2024, pretty flawless as far as things go. Between yourself, your talent, the car, the crew, the team, everything, what was some of the most important pieces for consistency for your season?
Yeah, I think it was just that, firing off in Florida really good, a place that hasn't ever really treated me well. And, we were just super confident all year. We brought pretty much the same track every night, or the same car to the track every night for me. And I knew every time I got in, I had a shot to win. And, I just was confident every night. And I went out and, we qualified well. I heat raced well last year, which is something I really struggle at. We not only qualified well, but would start 6th and drive to the front of heat races. Which is huge for points and just for confidence going into the feature. And then, we'd start, second, third row of the features. And I feel like I could make my car go by the guys really easily. So, it just seemed like every piece of the puzzle was working really good last year. And, like I said, we got off to a little bit of a worse start than we'd like to. But I feel like we're back on track. We've had a lot of speed here lately. And, hopefully I can have a good run tonight. This place is probably not something that's really my style for a sprint car, but I like a little bit bigger racetrack. But they've got it in great shape right now. Nice little cushion. Hopefully it gets wide here. I'm in heat 5, so I've got some time for this place to get wide and racy, and I've got to win my heat to get myself in a good spot.
Logan Seavey is your 2024 USAC AMSL National Sprint Car Champion. He looks to defend a 2024 Indiana Sprint Week title as well as we kick things off here at the dirt track at IMS. Before we get going into opening ceremonies, we'll talk to Brent Cox, kind of team owner, car owner, head honcho of Abacus Racing. And Brent, you built this team from the ground up, turned it into a pretty high-profile, very successful race team, and it all sort of took off right here at IMS. Is this kind of a full-circle moment for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up coming to this track as a kid, so this is the reason I'm involved in racing. So anytime we race here, anytime I spend time here, it's truly special.
Right, and obviously with the Silver Crown Championship and now, of course, with an AMSL USAC National Sprint Car Championship, any thoughts on the horizon about trying to make a really big run at a midget championship as well?
Absolutely. Well, we did. We won the midget championship the year before. We won that same year we won the Silver Crown, so it made us only the second team to ever win all 3. So that was great, and obviously you want to repeat that, but the competition is tough, and shown this year, we've had good season, but not as good as others, so we'll keep battling to see if we can't win another championship at some point.
I know Drake talked to you about this last night, about trying to pick up that first elusive win here at the dirt track at IMS. Going to make another run at it here with the Sprint Car Series as well. But are you looking at the race surface right now thinking that you got a pretty good plan?
Well, we do. I mean, Logan's been out there. He's given the team some feedback, but this is going to be a tough race. I mean, you've got 37 of the best sprint car drivers in the world here. It's a small track. And but the competition is going to be high because every one of these drivers wants to win this race. So it's going to be about who keeps their nose clean, who gives the best car, best driver, and see who wins.
Brent Cox and Abacus Racing picking up a Triple Crown Championship with Logan Seavey. They're going to celebrate their 2024 AMSL USAC National Sprint Car Championship right here in Victory Lane at the dirt track at IMS as we kick off Austin Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. And Brian, that's a big one, of course, for them to pick up 3 championships, 3 different series, and all in just a few short years.
It really is for something like that, because the driving styles in each of these vocations is so different and it's so demanding in how they have to attack. So for a driver to have the talent and a team to be able to back that talent, for him to come in and pull that off, really a tip of the cap to Abacus Racing, Logan, and everybody down there right now getting well-deserved accolades. So for those of you just joining us in the grandstands or here on the FloRacing broadcast, welcome to the 38th running of the NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing, night number 1. And it all kicks off here at the dirt track of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, this does not count towards Sprint Week points. It does count towards Sprint Week history. It is a show-up points event towards national standings.
And the only thing matters to the drivers back there now is they just simply want to win and say they wanted IMS.
So the Abacus Racing crew will clear from the infield, and I believe we're just about ready to go into opening ceremonies.
So for the second time, we will welcome the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series to the dirt track at IMS, this time for one of the greatest weeks in open wheel racing, NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing. And it's only appropriate to welcome you all to our home, Indiana, with Miss Jenny Spillman.
Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still shining bright through the sycamore for me. The new mown hay sends out its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, then I long for my Indiana home.
If you haven't yet, please stand and remove head cover for an invocation by American Racing Ministries' Tim Spillman.
Can we pray? Father God, once again we pause and we thank you for all your blessings and all your love that you give to each and every one of us. And I ask for a special blessing on each and every home that is represented. We thank you for the opportunity of being here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We thank you for Roger Penske and Doug Bowles, and every venue that they put on here may be a great success. Thank you for Kevin Miller and all of USAC. And Father, we thank you for the military that's standing around this world and on our shores to keep freedom so we can meet tonight the way we are. And Lord, we ask you to bring them all home safe very soon. Thank you for all the sponsors that come along to help make all this possible. And now, Father, we ask you to bless and keep safe all of our drivers, crews, officials, and all of these great fans. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Please remain standing and welcome back Jenny Spillman for the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, Brian, Pat, all of you race fans at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it is finally upon us. NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing. By the end of the week, somebody will be taking home a Bridgeport rocking chair and will be able to call themselves an Indiana Sprint Week champion. But by the end of tonight, somebody will be able to call themselves a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Truck will be going to make its way out to the Speedway. Set to go here in full competition at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first time of the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, we want to know, are you ready for night number 1 of Sprint Week?
Kirk's Bridget's ready to go.
We got Kirk fired up.
We do. We're here in the Eric Keenan Field lift once again, swaying around.
Breeze is actually pretty nice right now.
It is.
And I'm not sure whose campfire is burning south of the racetrack,
That's
but
not
my
good.
goodness.
Yeah, not good.
Car IQ Heat Race number 1 going to be able to make its way out to the Speedway. 10 times around, top 3 going to move on directly into your feature event. And your lineup for this 10-lap affair set to roll to the green like this on the pole at Fort Branch, Indiana. The Brown Brothers Excavating, Daywig meets Kistler, DRC number 92. It'll be Chase Stockin. Outside of him is going to be Charles Davis Jr. to Buckeye, Arizona. The MP Environmental, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Spider Crane, Indy Race Parts, AME Electrical number 47. Second row from the inside, he's out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. It's Brady Bacon, driving the Concord American Flagpole, Macri Concrete, Jim Weed, Hefner Enterprises number 20. And from the 4th starting spot, he was your quick qualifier here for Heat Race number 1 out of Rockland, California. The Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Brooks Western Telecom, Donna, DRC number 12, the Madman, Robert Ballou. Jerry Coons Jr. out of Tucson, Arizona. The Curb Wreckers, Joe Dooling, Curb Agajanian. Coletta Charters, Dueling Companies number 63, going to go from the 5th starting spot. From 6 in the 6th, it'll be Logan Calderwood at a Goodyear, Arizona. The MP Environmental, 6X Management Group, One Way Powered, Triple X Chassis, number 6. Final starter in this one set to be Braden Cromwell at Lone Jack, Missouri. The Wholesale Batteries, Level Up KC, Interstate Electrical Supply, Show Me Synthetics, Rickhorn Racing, Bull Snot Products, number 4X. As that'll be our scheduled lineup again for Car IQ Heat Race number 1 of 5 tonight with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Caution lights will come on. The field will begin to fire. Braden Cromwell actually bringing a new chassis to bear here as he found out the chassis he had been running was a little askew, so they were able to pick the parts off of the old one, get a new one back together, and brought a brand new look here behind the wheel of that number 4 machine. He makes his way off into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, while the Lone Jack, Missouri driver first came to Indiana, he was getting some help from a long time, an outstanding second-generation sprint car driver, Mike Mann. He's found his way here to the national scene. As we mentioned, a 3-time J. Husker champion.
So down at the USAC merchandise trailer, the driver rosters are of limited supply and looks like they are sold out. And if you go online to usacgear.com, the tie-dye shirts for Sprint Week are available now.
All righty.
Don't tell my mother-in-law, she'll buy them all.
Because?
She loves tie-dye.
No. Well, my favorite rock band is the Grateful Dead, so as you can imagine,
Nice.
it probably works for me. I don't think there's been a race that I can remember in a long time that has been discussed, dissected, debated more than this one.
Social media has been ablaze.
Ablaze.
Shall we say.
In all its glory.
Oh, it's something. It ain't glorious, I can tell you that.
I enjoyed watching you weigh your words there. It only matters now. I mean, all the talk matters, but now we're going to see what we can do.
Get Chase Stockin in that Moose Racer number 92. Of course, that car made famous up and down the West Coast.
Oh, yeah. How many great drivers have raced in it? Jake Swanson, for example, the field had plenty of times in that Moose entry.
Stockin, he has been close to victory here this season. Trying to get Tom Memorial surge to the victory lane with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Charles Davis Jr. going to line up next to him. Davis, former champion of the USAC Southwest Series, used to operate down in Arizona back in 2018. The MP Environmental stand Triple X Chassis number 47. Brady Bacon joining us once again. Combination of wing and non-wing races throughout the 2025 season.
I'm going to say this again. I've said it many times. It was Kokomo Speedway's Ken Evans who decided to bring Sprint Week under the USAC banner. A meeting in 1995. It was, first of all, one of the most important things that happened to this event and to USAC. The second biggest thing that happened when there were drivers like Corey Cruzman, who's in the infield, Richard Griffin, Mike Kirby, Ricky Gaunt, J.J. Yaley, young J.J. Yaley, all those tough, Rodney Argo, drivers from the then SC arena even joined They're created a rivalry. It was intense. It was the best of the best. And that's why this has become such a great event.
Of course, you talk about starting all the way back in 1988. And looking at the winners in 1988, Kelly Kinzer going to victory lane, Ricky Hood.
And we ran wing or non-wing depending on what the racetrack did regularly. The first, I think, 3 times it was all non-wing. The winner was Kevin Thomas. He was the king of the Indiana Sprint Week when it was non-wing.
And looking back through the list of winners here, of course, nobody has won more than Dave Darlington with the victory lane 20 times. And from 2007 through 2012, he won every year at least one Sprint Week event. John Stambro at 16 wins. Corey Kruzman won a dozen times. Justin Grant 10 times. And he has a Sprint Week win every year since 2019 so far.
Amazing. Throw flags in the air, Brian.
So the field set to go to green against Stockin, Davis, row number 1, Bacon, Ballou, row number 2, Coons, Calderwood, row number 3, Cromwell in row number 4.
They all said they want to run where others aren't. They're all going to run to that same spot. That's the problem.
So you can dice their way around here as the green flag is set to fly for the first time at the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Heat race number 1, brought to you by Car EQ, is underway. And it's going to be Stockin taking off of the race lead here. Charles Davis with a big run, holds off the charge of Robert Ballou, the 12, going to sneak down to the inside. Here comes the Madman. Good run to the front straight with Suburban Super number 12 up in a second here in the opening lap.
Robert Ballou looks really good there in turns. Right there, look at him dive down low. Can he hold on to it? He can.
Boy, he is backing that thing in a big way. It's like a loud pedal video come to life. Whoa! A little bit too hard there, but he saves it. Able to get it rolling and back underway. He drops to 4th. He's outside of a transfer spot right now. Brady Bacon didn't look to get force in the mouth. Instead, he just reached up, grabbed it, took off with it. Now he's going to try to hold on to it.
Brady Bacon and Robert Ballou. Can it get more interesting than that?
Ballou able to make his way by the number 20 here, as that's all been going on. Chase Stockin amassing a comfortable lead, 1.136 seconds between himself and Charles Davis Jr. Robert Ballou back with the 3rd. Brady Bacon running it forward. Jerry Coons Jr. Logan Calderwood, Braden Cromwell right now running out your running order. Challenge for 2nd. Maybe Ballou not able to get there quick enough. It's going to be Charles Davis holding on to it, but not for long.
Robert Ballou is back in that old California style right there.
Robert Ballou up in the 2nd, but he's got 4 laps trying to reel in Chase Stockin. He is nearly 1.5 seconds out in front right now. 1.457 seconds last time. Pass for 3rd. Here comes Bacon. Works by Charles Davis, who had been running a 2nd. In the matter of a lap, gets slipped back outside of a transfer spot here. And that gap is closing. Couple of tenths taken away from Chase Stockin. Ballou, does he have enough though?
I tell you, Brady Bacon's awfully smooth right now. Laps aren't winding down now.
Chase Stockin leading. Robert Ballou brings it under a 2nd, barely. Brady Bacon still with Charles Davis Jr. lurking all over his back bumpers. They come to the way with the white flag and a 1 to go. It is the Moose Race number 92 galloping out in front of this one. Bacon holds on to 3rd. Ballou trying to reel in and see if he can grab it off of the final 2 turns. Checker flag's going to come out. Robert stabs the throttle, but not close enough. It's going to be Chase Stockin with a heat race win. Robert Ballou in 2nd, Brady Bacon in 3rd, Charles Davis Jr. in 4th, Jerry Coons Jr. in 5th, Brady Cromwell and Logan Calderwood going to swap up the 6th and 7th spots. Coming to the checker flag, it'll be Calderwood over Cromwell. So Car EQ Heat Race number 1 going to the driver to Fort Branch, Indiana. The Brown Brothers Excavating Day Week meets Lucas Oil Center, SNC Machining, the Machine and Tool. Tom and Lori Sertage, number 92. Race fans, give them a hand. Chase Stockin. Stockin with the win. Robert Ballou in 2nd, Brady Bacon in 3rd, Charles Davis Jr. in 4th, Jerry Coons Jr. in 5th, Logan Calderwood in 6th, and Braden Cromwell unofficially running at your field in 7th. Drivers going to make their way back down into the pits. We'll bring them up after the heat races, and we'll get a word in with our heat race winners. A little bit of drama in that one as Ballou was backing her in like a loud pedal video and backed her in just a little bit too hard. Thought he was going to stall the car. Suddenly, the rear tires get going again. He had fallen out of a transfer spot, was able to fight his way back into 3rd and ultimately in 2nd, and was reeling in Chase Stockin from a full 2.5 seconds to .582 there when it was all said and done.
Yeah, Robert right there in turn number 3 was able to sort of dive down low and make that move there, but you're right. He was backing it in and got it cranked real sideways, somehow saved it, then regrouped and got the job done he needed.
You know, and the big thing there again is that redraw. He's trying to make
Correct.
sure he puts himself in position to start inside of the top 5. Right. As K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2 begins to make its way out to the Speedway, the driver on the pole this 10-lap affair is going to be Harley Burns in Brazil, Indiana. The Brit Aero, D&J Power, DRC, Ace Construction, Harley Burns own number 16. Next to him, it is the Throttle, Shane Cottle out of Kansas, Illinois. The SRI Indy Rider, Sons of the American Legion, Indy Race Parts number 34. Second row from the inside, Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging, Snake Enterprises, One Way DRC, Doughboys LLC, number 5T. And for the 4th starting spot, he comes to you out of Raisin City, California. The AME Electrical, Reinbold Underwood Motorsports, Mesquite Valley Transportation, number 19 of Mitchell Moles. Looking at your 3rd row from the inside, rear end trouble earlier in the night for the Collinsville, Oklahoma driver. Problem rectified. He's out to the Speedway, and the Pendleton Farms, Bennick Enterprises, Honesty Roofing, number 2B. That will be Cale Drake. Next to him, Max Adams out of Loomis, California. The Landon Simon Racing, MPV Express, the Hayloft, Knox Enterprises, number 24. And your final starter is set to be Kyle Shipley out of Phoenix, Arizona. The XXX Central Security and Communications, Fritchie's Lawn Care and Landscaping, number 0G.
Real quickly, Rizzy saw something in the infield and pulled right up there next to the 34 car and pointed. And the crew member got out. Was that Tony down there? I couldn't see, but whatever it is, it looks like maybe it's
and getting a look here from the infield camera, a flat left rear on the number 34.
There you go. Rizzy was all over that.
So they'll take him down to the Indy Metal finishing work area and see if he is able to get that swapped out here.
Shane's shaking his head and he's muttering, and I don't think it's something we could put over the airways.
It's not FCC regulated, but we don't want to test our luck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that thing is down
Flat
on the wheel. So he's going around, he's going ahead and getting to the throttle and see if he can get that thing built back up. He doesn't want to give up that outside front row starting spot.
Right. I saw Steve Kinzer win the Knoxville Nationals one year, and he had a tire going down, but he was pressing enough to crank her sideways several laps in a row, got that heat pressure built back up and was able to do it. And that's obviously what I'm guessing Shane thinks he can do.
So getting a little better look at it there, a little closer look. And initially it looked like that wheel was all the way on the sidewall, but it's actually rolling okay. It's got just a little bit.
Right.
Not saying she's good, but not saying she's flat completely.
Maybe it's a low groove speed secret.
You never know. Of course, you talk about Steve Kinzer doing that, and a huge difference, the bleeders.
Oh, no question. Absolutely.
And it was great. I had Tracy Hines up in the booth last night.
Yes.
As about 20 laps in, Tracy walked up, and you looked at me and pointed to him, and we went ahead and swapped it out. And he talked about that, and he explained some of how the newer bleeders work and how they're able to put in delays and such, because when they first came out, they were so fast, it was too efficient.
Right. Tracy was not an arrive and driver. He was hands-on at all times.
Drop of the green flag, and Burns going to take off with it. Cottle going to try to nurse that left rear into victory lane here. He's going to work to the inside. Tries to look for the top spot here. So far, it's working, but boy, that thing just got tight like a dump truck down off the racetrack. Contact with the 16, and Cottle's going to hold on to it.
Harley Burns trying to hold on. It's getting interesting now.
Cottle doing everything he can to keep that car rolling. As every time it goes into 3 and 4, man, that thing turned about as well as a freight train right now. Having to allow the 5T to make his way by as well as the 19. Oh, look out, your leader caught that infield tire, stood the wheels to the sky, and here comes the 5, and Jake Swanson to the outside, looking for the top spot here. He's got it as they come around the quick-off line number 3.
Yeah, Jake Swanson trying to work around Harley Burns, and Jake Cottle trying to tough it out. It's a tough job, and here comes Mitchell.
Boy, you'd have thought the tire road Harley Burns money went in and just slapped it silly over in turn 1 and 2. That's going to cost him as he really had to roll out of the throttle there. He falls back to 3rd, and Cottle is there right in his clutches. Cottle not able to get by. It looks like that left rear starting to build up just a little bit of pressure here. Tries the inside once again. Problems continue for Shipley. He's going to come to the top of the back straightaway. Caution light's going to come on.
It's been really a character builder night for Kyle Shipley as he's rolled to a stop. Boy, Mitchell Moles looks like he's quick tonight.
So Jake Swanson jumping out to the lead. Mitchell Moles up into 2nd. And boy, talk about hair-raising those first couple of laps. Cottle doing everything he can to try to keep that car rolling and going forward.
And he also tried to go right down the middle between 2 cars right there in turn number 1, which was an interesting move if everything was just A-OK. Shane's a tough guy. He's trying to gut it out.
So Shipley able to refire. He'll drop to the tail end of the field as the cause of the caution. Swanson, Moles, Burns, Cale Drake able to make his way by up into fourth. Cottle getting slipped back to fifth. Max Adams, Kyle Shipley right now running out your running order. 5 in, 5 to go. K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2 on the Speedway for those of you just joining us here on the FloRacing broadcast. Single file past the NOS Energy start can. Swanson in the 5, third to first. Brings it back to green.
Mitchell gets a good run off of turn number 2.
Cottle trying to get a little bit closer here to challenge for a transfer spot. Car tied off of the bottom. Tail Drake to the inside. Trying to get a 2-for-1 into turns 1 and 2. He's got it. Burns got tied. Cottle got tied, but Cottle to the inside. He's going to make his way back into a transfer spot. Question is, can he hold it? Trying everything he can to make that car wide and turn over in turns 3 and 4. Tail Drake back to his inside of the Bacon Enterprise number 2B. He's got it now as Cottle nearly parks it over in turns 1 and 2.
Been an interesting run indeed, and here comes Mitchell Moles really putting some pressure on Jake.
Boy, Pat, you called it. Moles looking really gaudy here. Brings it down to less than 2/10 of a second onto the back straightaway. Less than a car length now as they work over to turns 3 and 4. Swanson with Moles chasing onto the front straightaway. White flag in the air.
Well, Mitchell Moles, is he going to make a move? Doesn't matter at this point. Looks like he's going to give a shot at it.
Top 2 going to work off a turn number 4. Drag race down to the finish. It will be Jake Swanson in 5. Mitchell Moles in 2nd. Cale Drake holds on to 3rd. Shane Cottle in 4th. Harley Burns in 5th. Max Adams and Kyle Shipley unofficially running out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Anaheim, California, the Inland Rigging One-Way DRC Darty Motorsports. JSC Shock Technologies number 5. T-Race fans, give him a hand. Jake Swanson. Swanson with the win. Mitchell Moles in 2nd. Cale Drake in 3rd. Shane Cottle in 4th. Harley Burns in 5th. Max Adams and Kyle Shipley unofficially rounding out your field. USACgear.com heat race number 3 next on to the Speedway. So 10,000 to win tonight, and again, Sprint Week points start tomorrow. This is the opening round of Sprint Week. It does award show-up points towards the overall championship standings. Of course, Honda State Roofing Lincoln Park Speedway tomorrow. Then Kokomo, Lawrenceburg, Circle City, Terre Haute, Bloomington, and Tri-State. Going forward, 8,000 to win each night, 600 to start. You have the $200 hard charger from Rod and Supply. And correction, $200 fast time from Honest Abe Roofing. I mentioned $150 earlier. It is $200 and an extra $200 for each additional fast time throughout the week. Parallax Group putting up a $500 Passing Master, and Pro Source a $100 Hard Work Award, and of course $25,000 going to the champion of Sprint Week. I believe I heard Drake say he had an update.
Indeed, I do, Brian. Talking about the 21 AZ of CJ Leary, who, of course, is set to roll shotgun on the field here in this 3rd heat race of the evening. Talked to the team earlier. Of course, not exactly the qualifying effort they were hoping for. That car just plain and simple wasn't running right, so they changed out the mag box. They think that is the solution to it. Of course, CJ won the Stoops Pursuit Invitational race here last year at the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Championship. And even this team, Team Arizona, they had a really good run with their driver at the time, Dason Persley. So you know this team has got the tools to do it. We'll see if they can make a charge here and advance into the feature event straight out of the heat race, but he's got a long way to go to the front, that's for sure.
Indeed, as USACgear.com heat race number 3 will begin to fire. Ryland Gray out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Unified Group Services. Claxton DRC number 96 going to be in the pole. Outside of him, Todd Hobson out of Clyde, Victoria, Australia, the NBL Transport Easy Print number 77. The man they call tall, Trey Osborne out of Columbus, Ohio, the Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated. Kirchner Mopar number 60 going to go for the inside of run number 2. Outside of him is going to be Kyle Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana, the Avant Windows and Doors Stanton Mach 1 Petty Performance Racing number 3P. 3rd row from the inside, Hayden Reinbold of Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical, Stanton Spike, Reinbold, Unwood Motorsports number 19. Next to him will be Brandon Maddox out of Terre Haute, Indiana, driving the Maddox Heating and Cooling Pro Source number 28. Final row from the inside is going to be Kobe Simpson at Bond, Texas, the B-Town Automotive Circle C Adventures number 21K. And your final starter set to be CJ Leary at Greenfield, Indiana, the Curb Breakers, Team Arizona, Quebec Janian Racing, Oak-Craft Elegant Cabinetry number 21AZ.
Todd Hobson's been fast this year, and Would not be surprised to see him get to the front. Saw him in the Chili Bowl this year with his sister, who was also a racer. So we'll keep an eye on the, as I mentioned earlier, the Paragon Speedway points leader.
Picked up his first career win on American soil earlier this year at the Paragon, back on June 28th.
Well, Kyle Cummins comes in as the odds-on favorite. I don't think there's any question about it, given this racetrack and given the year he's had. But all those predictions matter not if he can't deliver right here. Ryland Gray, good to see him have right. He had kind of a breakout year last year in my mind. We watched him come through the TQs, etc. He's done very well trying to find some steady work. He's a young driver who really needs that extra boost to start really moving forward in the career, and he's got all the tools to do so.
So field filing in behind the Toyota Racing Development pace truck. Kyle Cummins leads the standings coming into tonight. Of course, everybody going to receive the same amount of points when we get done here this evening. It'll all shake up again starting tomorrow up at Honest Abe Lincoln Park Speedway. Justin Grant currently second in standings. Mitchell Moles, Logan Seavey, Briggs Danner, Robert Ballou, Kevin Thomas Jr., Jake Swanson, CJ Leary, and Cale Drake currently make up the top 10. Of course, you can see the full rundown when you go online to USACRacing.com. Ryland Gray, Todd Hobson, row number 1. Trey Osborne, Kyle Cummins, row number 2. Hayden Reinbold, Brandon Maddox, row number 3. Kobe Simpson, CJ Leary, row number 4. We're underway. Ryland Gray across the nose of the 77 Hobson. Hobson going to answer as they work over turns 3 and 4. He drops to the inside. He'll take the back bumper across the front bumper of the number 96. He's got tires to the front straightaway, but Ryland Gray's going to come around with the race lead.
Well, Kyle Cummins got a little cattywampus there, but he reloads down the back straightaway, and look at Kyle going topside.
Cummins trying the top side. The car getting balled up just a little bit. He kind of had to stop and reset the car a little bit there as he worked around to the front straightaway. Leary quickly up into that mix. Cummins off of the left rear of the 77. He was looking at the sky for a second. Just got his degree in astronomy there as he was checking out the stars.
Now, Trey Osborne's working awfully hard in that second spot. Goes down low, powers into turn number 3. Keep an eye on Trey.
Leary going to fight his way up to the 4th position. Cummins, although he bounced it off the left rear of Hobson, was quickly able to make his way by the 77. Now by Tall as they work into turns 1 and 2. The 60 going to fall back to 3rd, and Leary right now look at his chops trying to get up into a transfer spot. Again, remember, he has a car in the back of this one. And he certainly knows how to get his way around. 7th to 1st in the exhibition last year. A 3-car battle for the race lead. Here we go. Cummins right to the middle now. Can he get it done through turns 3 and 4? Yes, he can. Here comes the 3P up into the race lead. Challenge for the transfer spot.
And CJ Leary, who looked like he had an evil caller qualifying, they look like they've turned the right dial, so he's going to desperately try to get another position forward.
A little bit of smoke and a Ryland Gray, number 96. It was off the engine, not out of the engine, but what a drive from the back for CJ Leary to get up into a transfer spot. We got 3 to go. Kyle Cummins, once he got to the lead, he checks out this one, 4th to 1st here in USACgear.com. Heat race number 3. White flag coming next time when they work on the front of the 4. It's Cummins, Gray, Leary, Osborne, Hobson, your top 5. Challenge for 2nd to turns 3 and 4.
Now, white flag's going to come out, and here's the battle for 2nd. CJ Leary working hard on Ryland Gray.
Leary backs her up into turn 1 and 2. Tall trying to get there and see if he can capitalize on it. So far, no dice for him. He'll have 2 more turns, try to make something happen. The checkered flag is out, and Kyle Cummins picks up the heat race win.
Boy, CJ had to get out of it right there. Almost came together with Ryland.
Ryland Gray holds on to 2nd. CJ Leary with the final transfer spot in the feature event. Trey Osborne in 4th, Todd Hobson in 5th, Kobe Simpson, Brandon Maddox, and Hayden Reinbold unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, 4th to 1st for the driver to Princeton, Indiana. The Avante Windows and Doors Stanton Mach 1 Petty Performance number 3P race fans. Give him a hand, Kyle Cummins. Ryland Gray in 2nd, CJ Leary in 3rd, Trey Osborne in 4th, Todd Hobson in 5th, Kobe Simpson in 6th, Brandon Maddox in 7th, and Hayden Reinbold unofficially rounding out your field in 8th. Cookout Heat Race number 4 going to be coming up here in just a little bit. Get a $50,000 point fund up for grabs for these drivers. $25,000 to the winner. It's $10,000 for 2nd. Then it goes 5, 3, 2,200, 1,800, 1,600, and 1,400. So 8 drivers going to get paid when it's all said and done.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I mean, this has been a nice bump in the purse. A lot on the line.
But more than that, the Bridgeport Rocker, the one of a kind.
Oh yes, it's important. I mean, it is. I'm not being facetious. I mean, you want to win it.
you know, you think about events and the trophies that go with them. The Bridgeport Rocker, think of the clock at Martinsville.
Right.
The driller at the Chili Bowl. I mean, you want that in your house. You want to be able to hold that in your hands.
Yep. The old Sam Bass guitars, for example.
Here at Indy, the Borg Warner Trophy.
That's pretty good. And you get a baby Borg yourself.
Finally did get a chance to go through the museum and actually see the Borg Warner Trophy, and it's this very, very wonderful lady standing there working security, and I just kind of leaned in to look at it. Immediately she kind of leaned and looked at me and was like, yes, ma'am. Didn't have to say a word. I knew exactly where she was going. Cookout Heat Race number 4 out to the Speedway. Again, another 10 times around. We'll have one more heat race to follow this. And Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana is going to be in the pole for this 10-lap affair. Cover the Parallax Group, Beasley Railcar Repair, Lucky 7 Technologies, Midwest Auto Services number 14. Next to him, going to be Ricky Lewis. He's out of Oxnard, California, the Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultants, Mozilla Valley Transportation, Haley Motorsports, D-Transport number 41. Second row from the inside, Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the East Schneider & Sons Recycling, Oshucks Roasted Corn, Ryder DRC number 39. And next to him will be the NOS Energy Drink at BV Logistics, Top Industries, Indy Custom Sewn, Kistler Max at number 4. Out of Ione, California, that'll be Justin Grant. Third row inside line, he is out of Nixa, Missouri. Driver of the CarQuest All Metal Recycling, Claxton DRC number 44. It'll be Wesley Smith. And next to him from 6, it'll be Carson Short out of Marion, Illinois. The Auto Wheel and Rim Spec DRC number 21M. Final starters set to be Joey Amanti out of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. The JP Mason, Amanti Real Estate, Area 54. MP Environmental number 88J.
And Joey picked up that East Coast victory here recently. Should give him some confidence. He's done a little wing racing this year. I don't think it went quite as well as he would have hoped. He's talking about coming back full-time in 2026 with USAC. We know what Ricky Lewis has done. And now Justin Grant's in position trying to back up that fast qualifying effort.
So if you're looking at the heat race lineups, I think we alluded to it a little bit earlier, but we'll reiterate. It was not done by random draw. Yes, lineups seeded the heat race, but the drivers, just like we do in the BC 39, came up and they chose which heat race they wanted to be in. So you'll look at the lineups and notice that 3 have 7, 2 have 8. Normally on a random draw, it would be 8, 8, and then 7. In this case,
correct.
The first 2 with 7, Heat 3 with 8, Heat 4 with 7, and Heat 5 with 8 cars. It's always interesting.
The psychology of what they're doing, yes.
Because they're looking at it, and now when you're a little bit later, you see who is in those races,
That's right.
and you get to prove whether or not, you know, you go up and you draw and you go, ah, darn, I got so-and-so in my race.
Right.
You know, is that going to hold water?
See, my natural inclination would be to go in the first one because if you had a problem, you had more time to deal with it. But you're thinking about what the racetrack's going to be like, too.
Exactly. You want that track a little bit wider, and remember, you're starting outside of the transfer spot in that inversion in this case. So top 4 inverted. Justin Grant, he's looking at it as I want to be later and have a little bit more racetrack to work with to get up and get myself in position to make sure I'm in the redraw. As we're down in the BMW building, that was the grin on his face as he was looking at everything going, okay, I see how this goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Jaden Rogers going to bring him up to the NOS Energy Start Can over at the exit turn number 4. Ooh, he's going to get a little sideways Danner. Going to have to take evasive action there for a second. Green light's going to stay on as they work onto the back straightaway. That front row, they were even when they came to the NOS Energy Start Can, and Ricky Lewis going to be the benefactor of that one. He'll come around the lead in 41.
Pulled the front wheels off the ground going down the back straightaway. Earlier he's running 30 minutes pressure, but oh trouble.
Problems for your leader. Gets her a little skip high over in turns 3 and 4. It's going to cost him 2 spots. He's still in a transfer position as he goes tire to tire before Justin Grant off into turns 1 and 2. The NOS Energy number 4 up into second. Lewis back to third. Now here comes Short to 21, trying to advance on along the 39 of Briggs Danner.
I don't think Justin was comfortable in that instance a minute ago. He's going to try to get away from Ricky as fast as he can.
Ricky up to the top, Short down to the bottom. Grant right in front of them. Everybody chasing Jaden Rogers. He's been in that body racing number 66, going back into his own number 14 here this week. As he'll come around to the front straightaway, he will flip off lap number 5. We have 5 remaining. Grant still in second. Lewis still right in third. Carson Short right there, making him earn it though.
And Jaden is very active on the local bull ring scene, so great track, you understand.
Short loses a little bit of ground to Ricky now. Going to make it up just a little bit here, but the car kind of weeble wobbles out from underneath it there. Gets her up on the left rear, onto the right rear. Wheel spin it just for a second. The Edwards 21M right now sitting in a position to go on into your Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event as Jaden Rogers continues to lead in this one. He'll come around with 2 to go.
Short trying to make something happen here in the late going. That's a good battle for that 3rd spot.
White flag in the air. Rogers, Grant, Lewis right now sitting in transfer spot. Leader onto the back straight with the final time. He'll trip off into turn 3 and off the turn of the 4. Checker flag is going to drop. In this one, Jamin Rogers is going to pick up a heat race win. Justin Grant get across in second. Ricky Lewis can hold on to 3rd. Carson Short in 4th. Briggs Danner, Joey Manzia, Wesley Smith. Officially going to round out your field. That's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. He's out of Worthington, Indiana. Driven the Dan's Auto Sales, Lucky 7 Technologies, Parallax Group, Spec, DRC number 14. Race fans, give him a hand, Jaden Rogers. Justin Grant in 2nd, Ricky Lewis in 3rd, Carson Short in 4th, Briggs Danner in 5th, Joey Mantia, Wesley Smith unofficially rounding out your field. So a quick reminder, if you're watching here on the FloRacing broadcast, we are in a lift right off of the front straightway, so the car noise is going to be just a little bit louder, which for some people, fantastic. For others, you're wondering, why does it sound like the Muppets in the background?
Well, we're in the arcade and fell left, and we're right there on the middle of the action.
If you wanted more ambient noise, you've got it here tonight. Scar IQ Heat Race number 5 going to roll out to the speedway here in just a moment. Like the mist truck coming out here. We'll see if he drops any moisture, if he just comes out to try to pack the high side a little bit before we bring this next round of cars. So
moisture right there.
Getting a look at the broadcast here, and you can see where me and Dr. Sullivan are situated here just behind the start-finish line. So, hi, Mom. So they will lay a little bit of moisture down around the top side of the speedway.
Your mom critiqued your performance last night.
She did.
Yeah. And Tracy's.
Biggest fan and calls it how it is.
That's a good mom.
So as they lay down the moisture, let's go and set the lineup here for heat race number 5, the Mountain Mechanical Contractors Drop Light. Indy Power Sports, Carrington Home, Stanton DRC number 57, Logan Seavey going to be in the pole of this one. Next to him, it will be the 61M, the driver coming to us out of Bedford, Indiana, Brady Short in the Randy Edwards owned Edwards Motorsports Spec DRC chassis number 61. Next row from the inside, the Epperson Painting, Sherwin-Williams, BGE Motorsports, Hornbeck Concrete, Claxon DRC number 2E out of Littleton, Colorado. That's going to be Carson Garrett. And for the 4th starting spot, Kevin Thomas Jr. to Coleman, Alabama. The Inferno Armor Majestic Electric Stanton Mach 1 chassis number 3. Next row from the inside, Gunnar Stetzer to Columbus, Indiana. The Midwest 2 Mills, Davis Brothers, S&C Machine number 5G. And outside of him is going to be Hunter Maddox out of Bedford, Indiana. The TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Megacorp Logistics, Auto Credit, Buy Here, Pay Here, number 24M. Final row from the inside, it's going to be Bill Rose out of Plainfield, Indiana. The C&D Rigging, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Hellraiser Jackson number 6R. And your final starter is set to be Chance Crum at Snohomish, Washington. The Pit Logic, 8-3 Customs, Race Redeem Foundation, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, number 83C. As that'll be your line beginning. Car IQ Heat Race number 5, taking 3 into the feature, 10 laps the distance.
And Brady Short, by the way, it's been a while now. People will forget this. He's been a USAC winner in his career. He's really the all-time championship leader at Bloomington Speedway, and just some really, really big years for Brady. Came out of the modified ranks and found a home in sprint cars. It's good to see him back.
Of course, racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway would not be possible without people like Doug Bowles and, of course, Mr. Roger Penske. Thankful he is able to join us here tonight. Race fans, if you would, please, a round of applause for Roger Penske and everything he does for racing.
Substantial doesn't cover it.
Field going to fire the Toyota Racing Development base truck going to make its way around to the front straightway.
I have to say this once in a while, but people forget. Roger Penske is a USAC champion. He's a USAC road racing champion in his career. Had great days behind the wheel. The LA Times race at Riverside. One of the greats. Chuck Day, I believe, won the first. Brian, I like that Epperson painting wrap.
Again, there's not a ton of color, but there's more color on that car than I've ever seen.
Now, they should have broke that up for the 4th of July. I mean, it's got a red, white, and blue motif. I mean, Tony has to like it. I mean, he's got to.
He does.
Okay.
They did that. He walked in and
Right.
goes, well, that's nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
And I mentioned it earlier. Anybody I ever met that works in commercial painting, whether residential, commercial, they don't, anything else they have is just plain black and white. Or maybe a red car occasionally. Now, if they own a body shop, oh, it's going to be wild. I go back to growing up. There was a gentleman that raced out of the Southern New Mexico Speedway. He worked on his car pretty often at my parents' shop. His name was Lalo Trujillo. And he drove the number 97, and it was the first stock car I ever saw that had a lowrider motif in the way he had done the paint.
Is that right?
Glitter, marbled. It was really cool looking.
Of course, one of the greats of the New Mexico Racing Association was ultimately became the president of the United States Auto Club, the Golden Greek, Johnny Caples.
You're going to come around to the furrowed flag, indicating the next time at the NOS Energy start can, they'll be ready to go to green. Logan Seavey, Brady Short in run number 1. Carson Garrett, Kevin Thomas Jr. in run number 2. Gunnar Setzer, Hunter Maddox in run number 3. Bill Rose, Chance Crum in row number 4. California, Colorado, Indiana, Alabama, and Washington all represented here. The sun's starting to dip, the stand's starting to fill as we work into our final heat race of the evening. The Abacus race at number 57. Brings in the light here in the front straightaway. Seavey going to try to have the race lead on the back straightaway. Short with something to say about it. He's going to stand tall on the high side here. Not going to hold it, though. It's going to be the 57 of Logan Seavey coming around the lead line number 1. Short running in second. Kevin Thomas Jr. quickly up in that third spot.
Good strong move to the inside by KTJ. Going side by side with Brady Short. Brady Short.
And looked like for a second the 24M was going to get her saved and keep her going, but that car going to roll to a stop on the bottom side of the racetrack, and problems continue for Crum. He is down to the infield.
You know, it dawned on me as we watched KTJ, when he came up, one of the racetracks he raced a lot when he came up from Alabama was Bloomington, and when he was in his formative years learning this craft, that was right in the middle of the Brady Short years. So he's gone wheel to wheel a lot with Brady.
So Hunter Maddox, he had gotten up into the fluff over turns 1 and 2. The car took a pretty good bounce, and when he landed, it kind of lurched and then died. So not sure if it kind of knocked the car out of gear or if he just decided, you know what, we're going to try this again. But the caution, nevertheless, coming out, the 83. Problems continue for that team. They're going to go ahead and take him down into the end-of-middle finishing work area. So Logan Seavey leading in the Mountain Mechanical drop line number 57. Kevin Thomas Jr. running in second. The in front armor number 3R. Brady Short in the 61 running in third. Gunnar Setzer in fourth. Carson Garrett in fifth. Hunter Maddox had been running in sixth. It'll be Bill Rose. And then the 24M now lining up at the tail end of the field as the cause of the caution. Single file, 8 laps remain past the NOS Energy start can. We get back after Seavey going to move his line around a little bit here on the restart, go a little bit further up the racetrack. Kevin Thomas Jr. still around the bottom side of the speedway. Is Short trying to hold on to the transfer spot. He's got Setzer and Garrett coming after him.
Saw Carson Garrett reach up to get a tear off, man. This is a tight place. Be messing with your tear offs and trying to race that.
Carson getting right back up on the turn 3. Had to get the car loaded up and back underneath him. As Logan Seavey continues to lead just shy of 4/10 of a second. His advantage. Problems continue for the 24. So Hunter Maddox coming to a stop over in the middle of turns 1 and 2 this time. So not the start of the night that the Megacorp Logistics number 24M was looking for. Again, took that big bounce, brought the first caution out. This time the car coming to a stop. See if he's able to refire and continue on, or if he elects to take it down into the pits. Looks like the car will get some life back under the hood here. So he'll drop to the tail end of the field once more. Seavey in command, Kevin Thomas Jr. Brady Short still sitting transfer spots. We're back underway. Going to hustle onto the back straightaway. Seavey still in command. Kevin Thomas Jr. Again, that transfer spot. Gunner Setzer had a good run there on the last restart. He's going to bike it up over to turn number 1, and that's going to cost him dearly. The 2, he's going to look to the inside. Carson Garrett's going to roll by and take that position away. Garrett going to answer on the outside. Here comes Setzer down the inside.
That bears watching right there. Those two, because Setzer's angry. They got upset a little bit there. Meanwhile, battle up front.
Kevin Thomas Jr. taking a couple of looks at the race lead. Hasn't been able to get by Logan Seavey as he continues to pace the field with 3 to go. Works off of the high side onto the back straightaway. Brady Short wheel stands are on to the far side of the racetrack. Holds on to third. Setzer rebuilding that momentum here. Loves the Hoosier on the high side through turns 3 and 4. Drives to the bottom over in turns 1 and 2. Gets the car all kinds of sideways, and Short going to take off as they come with a wave of the white flag.
White flag is out. Battle up front. We'll keep an eye on the battle for third. Kevin Thomas work at the bottom. Logan Seavey up high. And Ryan, we may have a run for that third spot.
Tries to get it onto the back straightaway. 2 more turns to transfer on. Checker flag at the lead time of the year for Logan Seavey. Kevin Thomas Jr. pass to the outside. Setzer's going to get it at the line.
Boy, you got to love Setzer's grit.
Gunner Setzer puts all the chips in the middle of the table and comes up with the right bet. Goes to the high side and rolls up into a transfer spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. in second in that one. But your winner comes to you out of Southern California, the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Indy Power Sports, Carrington Homes, Fort Check Marketing, number 57 race fans. Give him a hand, Logan Seavey.
Well, Gunner Setzer, Rookie of the Year at the Chili Bowl. Billy Marvel Award winner from the Hoosier Auto Racing Fan Club. His sprint car Rookie of the Year last year. His dad was an outstanding racer, and he showed plenty of grit there to get it done.
Got it done. Seavey with the win. Kevin Thomas Jr. in second. Gunner Setzer in third. Brady Short in fourth. Carson Garrett, Hunter Maddox, Bill Rose, and Chance Crum unofficially rounding out your field. As that'll wrap up heat race competition here tonight at the dirt track of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A little bit of track work going to take place. We see one of the tractors starting to make its way out. The water truck is moving around. So here on the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back to Indy.
It's time to get after it in the summer of 2025. USAC NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing, is ready to launch July 24th through August 2nd. The action begins on the 24th with the series debut at the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Then it's off to Lincoln Park Speedway on the 25th, Kokomo Speedway on the 26th, and then down to Lawrenceburg Speedway on the 27th. The week closes out strong with the Final Four at Circle City Raceway on July 30th, the Terre Haute Action Track on the 31st, Wilmington Speedway on August 1st, before heading into the series finale at Tri-State Speedway on the 2nd. 8 nights of USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship action at 8 premier Hoosier State speed plants. Indiana Sprint Week 2025. It's the fastest 8 nights in motorsports.